Yep. We're live. Nobody, I know nobody wants to say anything because I don't want to get
Action.
nobody. I know nobody wants to come. It's like this is where we need mock.
I know. We were all talking the
Live.
whole time, and so it goes live. It's like everyone's just
Yeah, like
we should just have a pre-recorded mock.
yeah. Oh my God, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
that would be. I know.
Yeah, yeah. And then we could just have like the space for episode number, and then you know, so then,
Yeah.
then just leave the blank, and then you know, then one of us could be like 244 or whatever.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
you had to have said every single number in like, and you know, I almost said the
True.
alphabet. That makes no fucking sense. And no, whatever the hell that would
Yeah.
be. You're like, yeah, like episode
every number in the alphabet.
247.
Right, yeah,
Like,
yeah, we should have him do it in Roman numerals. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
C and
Yeah.
I. Yeah.
I X. I don't know. Whatever the fuck 8 is. I don't know. 1.
That would be
X,
IIX.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What number are we? Or is it
244.
244? Oh wow.
244. Well, that's
Damn.
2.5 as many as almost 2.5 as many as the next guy, right? Or whatever
That's right. It's a lot.
It is. I know. So I haven't seen y'all in a while. What's y'all been up to? Like how's things been? Like arcade and new games or pickups or anything like that? Or I've bought shit, so that's why I'm throwing that out there to you all, everyone on the.
How's tricks? Well, Leo, you know I have a punch out going.
Yes,
on.
I heard a little story about that. I heard a little story about that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that's about it. That project's almost wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been more in this. So I've sold a couple games.
Okay.
Just to make room for moving my body around in the garage, as opposed to, because it's like I'll say, oh yeah, I'm selling, I've sold a couple games. Oh, what do you what's coming in? Like nothing. I hope. Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Spiders.
Yeah.
Spiders.
Oh my God. Yeah. I actually, one of the games when it was going out, I was like, oh, there's this free spider. You get a free spider with that one. What the fuck with the spiders? Jesus, there's so many spiders.
Spiders with every purchase.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I'm not so it's been more of the reverse for me with just trying to get some space. And in fact, I was been really tempted by a game that's for sale here locally, that a club member has, and I'm just like, no, it's a cabaret, and I'm like, no. You know what? I don't have room. I do not have room. I have no place to put the cabaret. It would be awesome. It's cute. It's a fun game, but I don't know. Just somebody else needs to buy it.
Plus, then you go into someone else's house, and there's that whole that whole situation. Like, yeah, I totally get like Donnie bought a couple of Jesus Christ, cockpits the other day.
You really have been out of loop.
Yeah,
I have been, yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus
it had
Christ.
something to do with cock. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, that was later in the night. Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Donnie was trading what for a game? Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got a Space Invaders and a God damn it.
It was a Ms. Pack, wasn't it?
No, yeah, and then there's a third one too. The Space Invaders, Ms. Pack, Arkanoid. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You got the Ms. Pack was upright. So, but yeah, you'd go on that too. We were playing that. We had a little get together. I don't know if Dave told them we had a little get together. 6 or 7 of us at the Fun Spot about 2 weekends ago. It was it was me, Donnie, Bardelli, and then Robbie Lankman. That was essentially it, in the someone else. But yeah, it was nice. There was only 6 of us, and it was just kind of went to the Fun Spot for a little while, played Fun Spot. There was nobody in the arcade, and then went to the bar, and then went to the NASBAR because it was nice outside. I was like, oh, why are we drinking inside? We could be on the beach in the sunshine with a live band, and like, that made a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. And Dave broke my window. Other than that, good times.
What? How did he break your window?
Yeah, I heard the window got broken, but I didn't get the story for it.
So
yeah, I was like, where'd this come from when we saw the post?
Well, I had been drinking too, so that's why there was that post went a little bit unexplained. So after Dave had smoked his sixth cigarette, we're driving to the fun spot, and he's like, "I need some fresh air," because again, the Nassau to the fun spot, that whole 2.5 minute ride. God forbid he doesn't have fresh air. He rolls down the back window, and then he tries to roll it up, and it's not rolling up. So I again, I've never having it. I bought the car this past January, so no one's been in the back seat. So it was, you could hear the motor going, but the window wasn't going up or down. So yeah, I had my window down the entire time. We tried to do the very ghetto trash bag plastic around it too, but but the whole night I'm like, oh fuck, someone's gonna break into this. And then too, on the car ride home was just a blast. That thing whipping in the fucking wind then too. So yeah, that was thanks Dave for that too, because he had to get that fresh air for that 3-minute fucking car ride after smoking half a pack of goddamn cigarettes. So yeah, thank you.
Well, he was in desperate need of fresh air after 6
exactly. I had to go back to the dealership twice because when they fixed it the first time, I brought it back on the way home. I just rolled the window down, like to test it. It looks good. All of a sudden, it plopped down. So like it was completely down. So I'm like, oh shit. Like yeah, luckily it didn't rain when we were there too. We would have been fucked. But yeah, no, Dave just broke the window for his. And, it did. It was a fun story to tell. We were there too. Just feel like, Dave, you broke my fucking window, and just and really yell at
red backpack.
Exactly.
Let's not go there. Although I guess we can because Dave's not here, but still, I still.
We did talk about that too. On the car ride up there too. I was on the car ride up there too. Like, yeah, I was texting Dave like, hey, I'm like cruising on the spot too. Like we spent like 3.5 hours there that one year. Do you remember that, Dave? He's like, fuck you little son. Oh, he was so angry. But yeah, the Fun Spot has a chicken shift now, which is one of my favorite games that I played at the Prototype tournament a couple of years ago, and I played a bunch of it 2 weekends ago too. That's a fun little game.
It is, and it gets complicated really quick.
Oh, yes, very, very much so. Yeah, that's and it was in great shape too. For I think we went there. I went there early in the year and wasn't there, so they've had to have gotten within the past 6 or 7 months. So everything was working great too. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That game, I enjoy that game, but I find it very stressful and it reminds me of work. Like there's just like all the things that you have to try to keep track of and not but you have to do with the tube and then move this and then who's moving
you're fixing problems.
When it goes
constantly.
When it's blue, red, it's not bad, but it's like blue, red, blue. That's when it gets like you really start to think, oh fuck, here comes the termites. All right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
It's nice while it lasted. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you take that and then you splice about every 30 minutes an hour-long Teams meeting, video conference meeting, and that's my job. That is what I do at work. Oh wait, okay, now let's talk to the computer. Oh yeah, okay, I'll get right on that. Then we're back on.
Oh, gotta get that one. Oh, gotta get that one.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, another meeting? Yeah. Can I do this while I have a meeting? Yeah.
Gotta give Fun Spot a good credit. The games were in really good shape. There was nobody in the top arcade, and they had hand sanitizer placed all over the place too. So I think maybe they've been just kind of working on them and during this whole thing too. But it was everything. I think there was like 1 or 2 games that was down. Everything else was working like really well. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised about that. So
that's awesome. Oh, and here's There we go.
Yes.
And Dave,
speaking the word,
yeah, exactly.
Dave, third time I went back to the dealership to fix my fucking window. Oh, hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
I have to say something here because I was listening right before. I said, God damn it, I'm going down. All I did was roll down a window in a 2020 Toyota Camry. You think the window would work.
But no, I get the window. If we were going on like a 20-minute, 30-minute drive, it's a 3-minute drive after you had smoked 6, 7 cigarettes, and that fresh air was really important to you, right?
You had 4 packs of cigarettes.
We have 4 fat guys in a car. It's gonna be a little humid. Roll down the window. And then all of a sudden,
well, Dave, why don't you tell your side of the story too? Because your side of the story is pretty good too.
All right. So I'm in the back seat with Bardelli, and then I roll down the window, and then I'm like trying to roll it up, and I'm like, it's not going up. I look over at Scott. I'm like, and then someone's like, oh, maybe the child locks are on. Okay, that's a good thing. And then I'm like, I start hitting the thing here. Nothing's going up. And honestly, I don't think his windows were ever rolled down in the back seat. It's probably been broken since the factory. No one ever sat in the back seat and they never rolled it down. But I'm like, it's not rolling up. And I'm like, oh God, like this is a pain in the ass. Like, Leo, why does this happen to Leo?
Well, I remember it being like, I was in the front seat and I hear a window going down. I'm like, all right, that's odd. It's not, it's not that hot out. I mean, it's fall around here. It's,
but it's once again a 2020 Camry. You think you can roll the back window down?
Once again, it was a 2-minute ride after smoking 6 cigarettes. And being in a cabin that's opened air. So
but there's 4 guys with fart-laced just beer farts, and it just stinks. I just want a little fresh air. And then, but I guess you can't in Leo's Camry.
Well, now you can, because after I brought it back twice, they finally fixed the fucking window. So yeah,
you had to bring it back twice.
I brought it in there. So I've been working. So my parents down the road, they brought it in there, and
okay.
They rolled it down in front of my dad, rolled it up, and as he's driving back, he's like, "Oh yeah, I tried to do it again, and it wouldn't roll up." I'm like, "Well, did you turn it around?" He's like, "No, I figured you'd call." I'm like, "Or you could." I'm like, all right, whatever. Thank you very much. And then like I called a couple of days later, and they fixed it again on Thursday. So yes, I am finally to roll up and down my fucking back.
What was wrong with it? Was it off the track? Was that what they said? Or
yeah, it was off the track. Yeah, and then they didn't. I don't know what the fuck they did wrong the first time around. But whatever, it rolls. I rolled it up, I rolled it down, I rolled it up, and again, no one's going to be in that car for another fucking year. So,
but what you should be able to do in a 2020 4-door Camry with back windows and power windows. That kind of goes along with the purchase of the car.
No one else rolled down the windows, but yeah, I mean, sure, go right ahead, because
It was funny because I felt bad. We go in a fun spot, and I'm like, "Do you guys have any plastic bags? Maybe some painter's tape?" Because I fucked my buddy's windows up, and we have to ghetto his car.
And so on the ride home was great. So, I didn't put the bag in there, but like when just the back window was completely down, like created like this weird little like wind tunnel. So like I had to roll my window down. Otherwise it'd be like, it was like, oh God, this is loud. So like, I was like freezing by the time I got fucking home. I'm like, all right, I'm going to a blanket now because of fucking Dave and the goddamn rear window.
Oh God!
But yeah, it was a fun time though, right? It was a fun time.
It was a ball. There was nobody there. It was great.
Yeah, I filled them out.
The best COVID place to be because there was nobody there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like
it was good to see
6 feet apart. How about 40 feet apart or 100? There's nobody here.
Yeah. And the Nassau was fun that Saturday too when they had the band playing and that
it was sunny.
The charity thing was sunny.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was just a moment.
I think there's got a couple of fans of that. There was 1 or 2 people that hadn't been there before that became fans of that place. So yeah.
Yeah. It was. Awesome. It's nice when it's sunny. I mean, you guys have been there when it's sunny. I think both of you, and it's like, all right, this gets you away from the arcade. But we did have the Galaxian cocktail in
that's right. What did I say? Yeah, it's been a long day. Galaxian, that's right.
Yeah, he's hammered. He was hammered. He offered to buy the Space Invaders cocktail, and the next day I'm like, "Do you really want it?" He goes, "Oh no, don't listen to anything when I'm drinking."
No, Dave, I've said this before. When I'm drinking, I take no offers. To buy games seriously.
He's like, "Dave, I'll buy it if you deliver it." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Do you want this Space Invaders cocktail? I don't even like Space Invaders."
That's $7.20 from Bartelli, and I hate that. I don't even like that fucking game.
Yeah, he's making drunk deals. Leo with his drunk deals. Yeah, just he passes. Wait a minute. I'm slow on the uptick. 2 people are in the same place. I don't get it. How does this? Wait. Are you guys just next to each other?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. No, you did this before, and
I'm drunk. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm so slow. I'm looking. I'm like, it's the same fucking background.
Yeah.
One of these things is not.
Yeah.
All right. This was the only. I have to go to bed because I have to work in the morning. But I was letting the dog out, screaming at her for come in because she can't hear anymore. But I was laughing and listening to Leo. I'm like, that son of a bitch. I'm getting it. All I did was roll down the goddamn window in the back seats.
Oh, it became a great joke. It was more for comedy purposes. Aside from that,
No, it's all
froze my
good.
ass off driving home. But yeah, aside from that,
I'm
it was
sorry,
really
Leo.
fun.
It was great. And Leo
Yeah.
made Sneak Fest 3 mugs that are heavy as shit and cool as shit.
Oh,
And gave it to
really?
us.
Oh, that's
Yes,
awesome.
it was really fun. And
Yes, we had a good time.
it was a very private, exclusive tournament.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah.
But,
Did you rate it in the top 10?
No, yes. There's only
Yes, we
6.
did.
I think maybe I was one from the bottom.
Yeah.
But Bank Panic was the hit because Bardelli
Oh.
and Donnie Graham are still talking about Bank Panic.
Yes.
Oh wow, that was a
Yes.
Nat game that time.
Yes, very fun.
We
It was too
we
easy.
didn't. Yeah, we just played whatever games. Then on Saturday we said everyone pick a game that Robbie Lakeman's there, so it was like, hey, don't pick Donkey Kong, and like, we picked everyone picked one game and just put a score up, and
The
then
games were Gravatar,
sucks.
Head On,
Very good.
Marble Madness,
Very good.
Bank Panic.
Obviously, very good.
Oh God, what was Bartelli's game? Armored Car.
Yep. Very good.
Uh,
And then there was a sixth one too.
Stalker.
Yes,
Stalker.
Stalker,
Bally
yep.
Sente's the original Stalker.
Yep, Stalker.
Oh.
Which was
First time I've
really
ever
cool.
played that too. That and
Yes.
Gravatar, the first time I ever played
Yes.
that. And Stalker
Yeah.
was very, very fun. Although I kept getting tickets for hitting the cops. But
Yeah, me too. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing.
well,
Yeah, I don't think I know that one.
Yes, which is great. It's in the Leo Conley Bally Sente collection.
yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yes.
The Leo Conley Memorial.
But
Absolutely.
they have a great Bally
Memorial.
Sente, and Robbie Lakeman picked it because he says it's a quick game.
right.
And I'm like, oh, I did play it when I was younger, and I hadn't remembered it until I played. I'm like, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
All the games were in great shape, I thought, Dave, for, especially for,
Yes.
for what in the past. But yeah, everything was working great.
And
there,
it was the
too.
first time ever playing Gravatar, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I'm just
Yep.
waiting around. And then Donnie's like, "You got to just go up." And I'm like, "I killed these motherfuckers. What am I doing? I don't
Yeah.
understand." He's "You got to go up." I'm like, "Oh, all right. I get it. But it's
Mhm.
cool. Now I know why everybody likes Gravatar because it is kind of cool. I only played it a few. Oh, you have one, Carrie, right?
I do, but mine lives its life as a Black Widow. It only lives its life as a Gravatar when it goes to CAX.
But I do like Black Widow as well too.
I fucking love Black Widow.
I'm
Black
probably
Widow's
one
a
of the
great game.
I'm probably one of the few that maybe like because I play Black Widow more than Gravatar.
I like Black Widow. That's a fun
Yeah.
game. No, I like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah.
different. Spiders.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I
Yeah.
like dual joystick games. As I've said, it
Yes.
my hands now that I'm old and I type for a living, when I'm not flapping my gums for a living, my hands get really tired. And so the joystick games I can play a lot longer than games where I have to hit a button. And as much as I love firing at things, if I can fire at something with a joystick, it's so much easier on my hands.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I gotta go. Chunk, Carrie, Leo, Krusty
Andrew.
the Clown. I will. Because of his hair.
My hair.
It's tame now. If you haven't seen it without
Dave,
that,
you shouldn't criticize anybody about hair.
I know, but I can't.
I don't take
Andrew,
it seriously.
Yeah.
I can't, Andrew. I'm just waiting for him to be like Bob Ross, or no. What's the painter?
Yeah, you got it.
Ross, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I was picturing Andrew's hair like.
I could tease it up a little bit for you.
Oh God,
He's
a
gonna
little,
prove it.
little hairspray. Do it, dude. One night, just comb the shit out and spray it. Let's see how high we can get it.
I mean, it'll stand up as long as
Oh, dude, that would be
Yeah,
so funny.
Yeah.
Halloween.
it would be big. I mean,
Yeah.
But the
Oh my
knots the next morning, if you tease your hair, then
yeah.
that's a labor of love to brush that shit out the next day.
Oh my
Nice.
God! Look at this. Oh,
almost 5 inches.
all right. And Greg Brady, I will see you later. See you guys. I gotta go
Later.
to bed.
They did.
Have fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Night, Dave.
Sorry, buddy.
I gotta go
Yeah.
stop my dog from barking.
Yeah.
I'll be right.
Get a beverage.
Oh, we're gonna abandon
Yeah.
you both.
Cool.
I'll be
Well,
back.
They're down
I
to
love how
50%.
Dave joined just to kind of like he heard me shit talking and be like, oh, whoa, I gotta get my side of the story on this one here.
I wondered if he might. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Intermission.
you'd be think he'd be immune to that too because Everett he did it on Friday. Like that's all I did for the next 2.5 days. But I'm like, the fucking window's down again too. You would thought he would have been immune to that, but apparently not. Ugh.
Well, he's got to complain about something.
Mhm.
It makes for a good.
That's
story.
what I was saying too. It's just a fun little dumb little story. Like, it's one of those things. We did not see Brian Koo although we didn't order food to the room, so that might be the reason. We just, Dave made his hot dogs per usual. But maybe that's why we didn't see Koo. We did drive by the not the Blue Moon, but something Moon arcade.
Yeah, the one down on the boardwalk.
Half Moon Arcade.
yeah.
That was shut down. I think the bumper cars were too. That's where we saw him. He was working last time, so maybe it was just one of those. He wasn't working, but yeah, I know Dave did. Shoot him a text like, "Hey, we're gonna be in the area. We're gonna stop on by," but
Nothing.
no, he's not a poker guy or a drinker really. So yeah. He might have been hibernating and just like, hey, maybe we'll get one last meal before he gets, goes away for the winter time. It was fun. It was just like I said, it was just fun to kind of like, everyone was safe. Everyone's just like, all right, we weren't in any loud crowds. Like the table we were at was in front of the hotel room. There was no one around us too. Like everyone had masks. I said this before and I met Dave, like too, like New Hampshire's, live free or die. So like, I was kind of worried there's going to be a lot of people without masks. So nope, people had masks. People were very good about that too. So I'm like, all right, that's nice. Like it's good to go out and see people, have fun, and just fucking do something. God, I've been home for 6 goddamn months doing nothing.
Yeah, no, I
Watched every show. I've kind of done all this shit. It's like, all right, kind of be nice to, the weather was nice, so just go out and relax.
Yeah, I definitely missed the beach there.
It was great. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the cabins around us really, because I mean, in the parking lot there was like 3 cars there when we pulled in, so like there was nobody. Yeah, I mean, I think they were shutting down the week after that too. Oh, we have a new guest here. Oh, wants to be in both cameras now. Exactly.
I know. I thought we were going to have the head, the head in one and the butt in the other. That's how you know it's live video.
Exactly. Oh, this one will be Lisa's pet.
Yeah. That's good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you could be Lisa's.
Exactly.
Twice a pet, another mess.
Exactly. I was one of the Halloween ones was the Paranormal Activity ripoff when
we haven't got to that one yet.
Okay, I love that cinnamon is one of my like randomly favorite, like just dumb like little throwaway lines. I love that one. It's a
like when Homer takes like a 2-hour piss. Yeah, now Carrie's seen all the Paranormal Activity movies, so she'd get the jokes. Yeah, we're on like the 11th one, I think.
Yeah, we just finished season 10.
Ooh. Yeah. So
what was
1,000? They
all kind of blend together. What was? Yeah, but how many Treehouse of Horrors have there been? Are we over 30?
It's what season there's a Simpsons? 32.
I think
so. They're on 31.
They're on 30. Wow, that's
because it was
80 something, right?
88,
88 or 89. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, year one was either 89 or 90. For the Treehouse, because season 2 was their first
one. Yeah, the first season they didn't have it. Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still remember getting the Burger King toys from whatever their Happy Meal, whatever.
I think it might actually be this Sunday that the Halloween one comes out. This year's, but.
Right, because Halloween's on a Saturday this year, right? If I'm not mistaken, so it would have to be. It
is. Yeah, this was going to be the rockin'. It was like, oh my god! Like remember all the the Facebook memes from all everybody's like, this is 2020 is going to be the best, and it's like Taco Tuesday. Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is on Taco Tuesday.
Yeah,
and like all the holidays were perfect, and Halloween was going to be on a set. Well, I mean, it still is on Saturday, but we kind of don't really have Halloween much of anything anymore.
Remember when the coronavirus was just a meme of people drinking too many Coronas? Like, oh yeah, fun. Simpler times. Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I'm kind of I am. It's kind of on the main road, so I haven't gone trick or treaters here since I've been here. So, but like, I can't imagine people are going to go trick or treating. That just seems like what?
No, I think it's going to be cut way down. And I kind of live in my town goes crazy over the top for Halloween, and we're kind of we own Halloween. Like the Half Moon Bay, which is down south of me, has like this pumpkin festival, and they are all about the pumpkins. But but Montera owns Halloween, and yeah, it's just such a bummer. And I'm not opening my arcade because I usually do that. There's a lot of community events that happen on Halloween, and it's like, nope, that's not happening. But we've been decorating.
We've been decorating the fuck out of your house.
Yeah,
it makes like Christmas decorations look tame.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Mock's window creepy animation set up.
That looks that is awesome. I do love that's a great thing he does.
It looks so cool. And yesterday we set up the Bluetooth speaker. Actually, it's not running today because my daughter's up in the room because she's spending the night because she has to work the next day. But and I live closer to her job site than her house is, or her apartment. But yeah, when we're all done with all the decorating, I'll go out and take a little video and post it so everybody can see, because I have all sorts of hangy stuff and the flickery lights, and
it's gonna be nice to kind of go and like do something, be like at least be like get in the festive spirit on that too, like just be like, oh, this is nice to go out and start.
Yeah, it would just give me something to look forward to with Halloween, because I was really bummed about the arcade, and I think that's part of why I went kind of overboard. And some of you did. So someone posted a video of like an idea of how do we trick or treat safely, and so they posted this thing of this couple came up with the idea of this candy slide. So we went and did Jim and I went over to Ace Hardware the other day and picking up some I had to pick up some PVC pipe actually to hang one of my hanging ghouls outside the house, and Jim noticed that they had like a gutter, like a big like a big plastic it was plastic. It's a big plastic gutter. We had it because it was 10 feet, but 10 feet wouldn't fit in my car, so it was cut down to 8 feet, and spray painted the inside orange. The outside's brown, so we're going to decorate it with a whole bunch of pumpkin lights. Actually, you can see them behind Jim's head. You can see them, or you can see them over my shoulder.
I see them.
Yeah, so I have like all the, because from when my daughter was little, I'd gotten, Halloween decorations a little more warm and fuzzy and kid friendly than what I bought to deck out the house, because now I'm old and jaded and just want
to. Her neighbors like, that's scary.
Yeah, they're like, it's I don't think they entirely appreciate it, but once a year. Yeah, exactly. Once a year, y'all can have sweet, cute Christmas, but for Halloween, it's and in the daylight, it's not that scary. It's just at nighttime, and it's
a scary holiday. It's supposed to be like that. It's it's not like it's like, oh well, this is a very traditional, like it's like, no, it's about people walking around in masks and like dead, scary movies and shit like that too. Like
exactly.
This is the one holiday we can kind of do that stuff too. So yeah, absolutely.
Totally. So that's the way I'm going. And so for the candy slide, the way that my house is configured, the front, I have like the little like picture window over the kitchen sink, and it has so it kind of pops out. It has screens on it. So what we can, it's kind of thin. So what we're going to do is take the screen off, and then it can just stay in the house. So when the trick-or-treaters come, they can be on the front step, and then just slide the candy down to them.
That's a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that there won't be that many trick-or-treaters, but for the ones that are out,
we'll just randomly throw other stuff down there, like a bowling ball or something.
Hey, it's trick or treat, motherfuckers!
You got the trick.
Yeah,
exactly.
So is the idea like then they just like hold their bag open like at the bottom?
Exactly.
Yep.
Then we'll put on a little stand, and then then you just open up your bag, and nobody has to touch anything.
Yeah, it was going to be a PVC pipe, but then when I saw the gutter, I'm like, well, this way the kids can see the candy coming down. So
yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So I think that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then I can really, I like yesterday we because Mox animations have sound with them, like creepy noises of like, the bugs skittering, and, apparently Patty going, because Mox said he had his wife do that, and so and kind of creepy music and things. So I tested it yesterday, but I felt a certain obligation to keep it relatively quiet because it's a Monday night. But I'm like, come Halloween, I'm gonna be cranking that shit up, like they're gonna hear it three doors down.
It looks great projected. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
cool.
like as a kid, like the houses that had like music and stuff like that playing. It's like, oh, those are
that was the best.
Yeah.
Yep, that's good.
They also had. I remember some houses. One house in particular had one year when I was a kid had someone dressed up to be a scarecrow.
Oh, nice.
And then they would jump out at you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to remember kids dressing up as more not as maybe that's just my memory too, or my memory changing over time, but it just seemed a little more serious. Like now there's so many like Disney, like I'm a princess, I'm a whatever, like just generic, like not generic costumes, but like not like creepy like monsters or stuff with all kinds of blood and stuff. It seems like it's more of a mix now than what I remember. Like although being out here, it's kind of this that it kind of brings that back because people take it a lot more. It seems to take a lot more seriously. But I don't know. Things just seem a little tamer to me.
I wonder if it's because of women entering the workforce. I mean, if you look back at it, for those homemade costumes that are not the off the shelf, here's your, oh, what do you want to be? Let's be Spider-Man or Disney princess. I mean, that's, you go to the store and you buy that. But for like a lot of the costumes, like my costume, mom's made. And if you don't have a mom who's home sewing costumes, you're more likely to get that generic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a theory.
Yeah, part of it too could be maybe because as a product of the '80s when things were a lot more trusting. Like the kids go do your thing too, and come back and enjoy, and big neighborhoods, and a lot more trusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I think we had probably to one parent supervising 10 or 20 kids. It seemed like. And that was probably strict for back then too. When I was growing up in the '89 too, it's like, one person like would just kind of watch all these. Everyone kind of took turns doing
you'd
it.
pile into like your, whatever super, parent chaperones like van or whatever. There'd be like a dozen kids and go.
Go to the houses that give full candy bars. Yeah, go to the houses that give full candy bars. Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you ever get money? There are houses that also gave out like there was one house that would give you oh man, it sounds terrible to say this now on the surface, but one of our neighbors way down the street, because I grew up in a big neighborhood, would invite us in their entryway, and we had to sing a song, and then they'd give us a dime.
Oh,
get a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had a couple houses, the more well-off people that would give you like a can of soda or a full candy bar. That was like legendary.
That was everyone knew that house. Yeah,
there's always that house. Yeah.
There was 2 or 3 that was like kind of right in the general vicinity of each other. Everyone made sure that was always on the rounds to hit. Yeah, but that was.
Yeah, and then of course there was 2 houses. One gave one well-off gave like a quarter or 50 cents or something, and then another they would have you sing a song and give you a dime, and then and my sister remembers that. We just talk about it, and then
what'd you have to sing?
I don't know, you just whatever song, like just make something. It could be anything, but it was always something short. Yeah. It was an old couple, and
that's better than some 30-year-old person now we're getting into okay, sorry.
There were houses that would have a bowl of candy, just say note on this, take a piece or whatever, very trusting. And then what was the other? And then there was always a couple houses that did homemade stuff. Nowadays, but I like popcorn balls.
Anybody give an apple or toothpaste? That was
candied apples.
Nope. Regular apples and toothpaste. Yeah, that was everyone knew that it was the same house every year too. And the tradition was when you got older, you egged that fucking house for getting back.
My mom gave, much to my embarrassment, gave raisins.
Oh, okay.
Right. The little boxes Sun made.
Yeah, the little boxes of the Sun made raisins.
I liked raisins.
Yeah,
I did not want to come from the house that gave raisins. I mean,
right,
and that was a common snack in my lunch too as a kid. So raisins were not at all special.
Right, and especially when you could buy like the bags of candy, like you could get the fun size candies for what, like back then, $10, you could get enough fun-sized candy to do. Oh, you had the look of like, oh crap, my mother's right here. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
No, Taylor just came down the stairs and she saw it because Jim and I are both sitting, and she just thought it was funny because we're sitting here on our two separate computers.
Yeah, but I think it's like different, toothpaste, like, like it can't be that expensive. Like, a bag of candy back then, you could get out of Halloween for under $10, even if you had like a good amount of kids coming out there too. But yeah, I mean, raisins not the worst thing.
I liked the little box.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the packaging was almost as important as the candy.
Yes.
No, the packaging totally cute. And Jim, to your question, I remember sometimes there were houses that gave nickels. I do remember getting nickels and coming back with nickels, which honestly was less exciting than candy. I would much rather have had the candy.
Totally agree. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, because I'm not buying my own stuff. Like, what the fuck do I care about a nickel?
If you gave a kid a nickel today, how many would throw it back at you? Like, over 10%?
The snapper.
What is this?
Yeah, right. You definitely get some weird looks.
Yeah. Is this like 0.05 of Bitcoin? What the fuck is this, old man? Like,
even
exactly.
Just change in general.
Yeah.
No one wants to carry around.
Yeah.
Even if it's quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coin shortage now. You can sell that nickel for $1.
I don't think I've paid cash for I shouldn't say the league I'm in. We do cash, but like I don't think I've paid cash for anything since the pandemic started, because like A, I'm not going out as often, and B, like, all right, just swipe it, like
touch.
A lot
of places don't even accept cash. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't blame them. Yeah. Why would you want?
I've always been a cash person, which is always delightful going out with Jim when it's like, there's like some small thing and it's like, okay, here, no, I have $1. So we're like, no, don't pull out your ATM card for a 35-cent fee to the store for that. So, or the inevitable. Do you have like a nickel? Do you have like 5 cents? Like,
yeah.
No.
No, I'm a guy. I don't carry change.
Yeah, that's it. That is what he says. But since the pandemic, the vast majority of my purchases are with card now because it's contactless or more contactless, except for those places where like I have a little stylus, I carry around in my purse that I can use to touch things. But every once in a while there'll be like I forgot where we were, like Safeway or somewhere where you have to use it. Oh, it's Ace Hardware today.
Yeah.
It wouldn't accept my stylus. I had to pick up their Jeremy pen I'm watching, and the guy never cleans it. Like I've watched 4 customers ahead, and so there we go. Like awesome. So yes, and then actually it's funny because I was grumbling, sign this, and they had some hand sanitizer, so I'm like, fine, I'm gonna squish it. And I forgot that I cut my finger earlier in the day hanging a Halloween decoration. Actually, I'm like,
I was looking at her. I'm like, what the fuck's the matter with you?
I know, I get complete sympathy. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Like, it burns. It burns.
Yeah. Oh.
It did fucking burn. I'm like, well, it's clean. I'm like, I was like, my cut is clean and puffy.
Yeah. Well, the pain is it's a burning pain. So that's, if it's hurting me, it's killing these fucking germs. That's for sure. Yeah.
That's got to be the way it works, right?
Yeah, there's science behind that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, so should we talk about the mispack?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The elephant.
Gina will come on in 20 minutes and ask about it. Who told the story?
I know, right? I'm like, how long can we delay? Because he when it comes to arcade games, he turns into an attorney. Like all of a sudden, he's a lawyer who's cross-examining the star witness of the defense, right? So, if we go into the Wayback Machine, when was it that we first started that with our first?
In August.
Okay, yeah. So,
last time I was out here.
Yeah, so back in August, we had Jim. Really, it's Jim gets all the credit for making an incredibly beautiful blue cabinet with the Bondo and the
It's a little blue cabinet.
It's, exactly, not a big blue. It's a little blue cabinet.
Putting Street Fighter in it.
Yeah, and so we were. That would be a funny cabinet for a Street Fighter.
With the mispack joystick.
Yeah.
Terrible. 2 buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, so much for the
Pearson roundhouse. Yeah.
Finish him. kind of. So we have the beautiful blue cabinet. Actually, didn't you do the blue cabinet before? And then because it was like we didn't have time for stenciling, and then you came back out. Next time you came out, we were going to do the stencils.
No,
it was all the same one.
Okay. I was out here for like 15 or 16 days.
Okay, so
we got the blue done.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We were like, oh, we're not gonna be able to finish all the stencils, but at least we can get them started.
We can get started, and we went.
Yeah.
It was Sunday, I think, that we tried to the Sunday before I left, because I left on Monday. And it was Sunday that we tried to apply them. Okay.
Yeah, and then it turned out that the stencils were horribly wrinkled, and basically, one side was just so wrinkled, with had wrinkles within.
It had a crease in the pre-mask, a thick one that it was so it actually went all the way down to the backing, and it went from about midway, almost not quite midway of the cabinet, all the way down to like a corner, and it screwed everything up. There was no way to get it out, because once it's through the pre-mask, it's like you can't really straighten that out. And we tried.
Yeah, that's how we know that you can't really straighten it out. And so then we're like, okay, well, fine, we'll just do the other side, and then we'll just order a new one of those. And even though all of the stencils looked pretty rough, and so then we put on the second side, which was pretty rough, but we were able to get through it and applied it, and we were pulling off. Then we realized that the stencil itself had been at some point folded under, so it wasn't
where the ghosts are. It was we were pulling the pre-mask off. We're like, holy shit, okay, good, we might be able to actually use this side. And we got all the way down to where the three ghosts are, and then Carrie noticed before I did, and she's like, something doesn't look right here. And we're like, what the fuck's up? And we showed you pictures of that, but like, it had, under the pre-mask, it had already like torn, and it had flipped around underneath, like folded over. So it was like that happened, and then the pre-mask went over it, and we're like, how the fuck? So
because there's no way we could have done it. So that's from what we're going to refer to as vendor number one. So we decide that we're not going to use vendor number one again, for a number of reasons. And so I order a new stencil kit now from vendor number two. And so we so it arrives, and we unroll it, and it looks definitely much less bubbly, no deep wrinkles, all that kind of good stuff. So it's in definitely far better shape than the set that had arrived from vendor number one. So we're excited for this. It's still like a little, and I'm definitely kind of twitchy, because I'm like, oh my God, this looks kind of bubbly, but it's not. Yeah. It's not, but not nearly as bad, but I was still a little nervous. So we're like, all right, this is awesome. This is great. Okay, well, let's lay out the yellow, so the yellow can have a day to relax and get, happy and ready to be flat and all. And there seems to only be one of the two. So, well, I should say there we have all the kick plate stencils.
Because remember, we started unrolling it, and I'm like, all three kick plates were together and taped together. I'm like, okay, here's the kick.
Yeah, like, oh, this is smart. Yeah, they put them together by side. Awesome.
Yep. And then I'm like, okay, here's yellow side number one. And I'm like, where's the other yellow? And I'm like, am I stupid or something? I'm not seeing it here.
Are they stuck together?
Through like 3 times, because like, there's no way. It's a whole set. Like, how do you?
It's a giant fucking. And this one isn't even die cut, so it's like it's big. Like, how you can't. Yeah.
We checked like 3 times. I'm like, I don't believe it. This is the worst luck I think I've ever seen with arcade artwork. Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, and I didn't believe it. And then we're like talking about like how, back at the shop they've got one whole sheet of a side. We're like,
wonder where this
come from. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear from them. So so that was funny. But
to the testament of customer service, they were quick to respond, and we'll get you one. And then should I talk about the other quirk with the registration marks?
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? We're just having all sorts of stencil fun. We want to share the love.
So if Andrew's familiar with Leo, I don't know if you're familiar with how these stencils work, but they have these things called registration marks, and they're little tiny pieces of vinyl or cut out little shapes, and they're meant so that after you lay the first stencil, those remain on the cabinet so that you can line up, because the other sheets have those omitted. So basically you can line those shapes up so that the second and third layer, how many layers there are, line up perfectly with the previous one. And with to my understanding, at least with most vendors, including the first one that we had, those shapes are die cut. So you apply the vinyl, the whole stencil, and then when you peel it off, those small marks remain on the cabinet, so that when you get the next sheet, they line up. So I was looking at these. This is going to get complicated because it's hard to explain, but I was looking at all the sheets of these, and they have plenty of registration marks, actually more than the first set that we had. And I'm like, okay, good. But then I started thinking about it, started looking at it a little bit more, and I'm like, wait a minute. These registration marks, there's no vinyl in the shape. They're just empty shapes, including the very first layer, which is supposed to have those vinyl marks. So it's like, how are you supposed to line this up? Because you don't want to paint over that, because then there's going to be paint where there shouldn't be on the cabinet. So what the hell? So Carrie had already sent them an email about the missing stencil that they're sending. So then I sent a message, and I'm like, so I was just looking. I took a couple photos because it was both the kick plate and the yellow side, because the yellow is the first one. And I'm like, so I'm noticing that there's no vinyl inside the registration mark. So how are we supposed to do this like properly and easily? And and I get a response pretty quick, and it's like, well, you can either go over it and touch it up afterwards, or you can put which I'm like, no. And then, or you can put painter's tape on the other side of it. And I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, how the fuck? Painter's tape? That's gonna be a pain in the ass. And then I figured out, okay, so you put before you apply it to the cabinet, as you peel the backing off, you put painter's tape, the non-sticky side, against the adhesive vinyl, so that the painter's tape will stick to the cabinet. Then you paint over that, which I was still a little like reluctant, because that's going to add some thickness in those areas. But I'm just like, so I respond, and I'm like, yeah, but but that's not going to make things easy. Isn't there supposed to be vinyl there to make this a lot less hassle-free, or a lot more hassle-free, because no one's going to want to touch up paint on that. And then the guy responds, no, I've never done them that way. But then he offered to send me vinyl plugs for those shapes for that to put over it. I'm like, okay, well that works. But then so I'm like, okay, well, we can do that. But then we got impatient. We're like, all right, let's try this. Let's do the painter's tape thing. I think this can work. We think this will work, and it did. Just not as easy, because it's tough to get that stick. And
yeah, because the painter's tape, some stuck, like sometimes it fell off of the backing when you're trying to put it, when you're trying to get it on there, and then like one of them, the paint didn't quite go, like the paint started to pull off, but it was good enough.
But it served its purpose. So after this whole thing, we're pulling before we pulled the stencil off. I'm looking at it applied, and I see just barely the outline of 3 registration spots, unlike the other ones, same shapes, but had the vinyl in there. And when we pull it off, sure enough, there's 3 registration marks, aside from the other like 6 or 8 that were that we had done this with this painter's tape, and there was no mention of this in. I told Carrie, I was like, I'm tempted to document this and then ask about it and send it, but then I'm like, let's just not. Let's just not ask about it. So there were actually 3 proper registration marks aside from these other ones. So it's like, I don't know if they got things mixed up or what. It baffles me. So I wanted to look on the other side to see if that was the case. But that's only 3. There was 2 on the top and 1 on the side, and then there with the normal one, the ones that we had worked with, there was 5 at the bottom and like 3 scattered throughout the top. It's just really freaking bizarre. I mean, if that's fine if those shapes are cut out for the pink and the black layer, because that's more registration marks to work with, but it's just really freaking it's so weird. Like, nothing has been straightforward with either of these. It's been super challenging, but anyways, so yeah, we got the yellow on.
Yeah, and it's exciting putting the stencils on. It's much more exciting than putting side art. I thought was exciting, but laying those stencils down even more so. Yeah,
And by exciting you mean fucking tedious as hell.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could do it through like putting side art on like 3 times.
Yeah, we just did round 1, but so we have
and,
yellow.
And every little stage is it never. There's never a stress relief. So it's like, it's stressful to put the stencil on, really stressful. It's stressful to do the painting, and it's stressful to pull it off. Like, there's never a relief. It's not like you apply the side art, and that's like, I'm done. You know?
Yeah.
Now I have to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it on, you step back and enjoy your work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was joking as Jim was putting on the paint. I'm like, we were like, oh, do you think it's thick enough, or should we do another layer? I'm like, well, let's just pull off the stencil and take a look, and then we can then we can just put it back on if we want to do another coat. No, let's just fucking do another coat.
Oh yeah, and we got so the yellow. I forgot how much yellow we were going to need, because I was like, well, the yellow, there's obviously there were more blue than anything, but the yellow of the 3 stencils is the biggest. That's that first layer. The yellow takes up the most surface area. But I was like, we got 3 tall cans of this paint, and that should be, and we only have 2 sides right now to worry about. That should be plenty. But then I forgot how much yellow you actually need, because it's such a lighter color going against a deep blue. And the coverage, and I'm looking at it, so that's why we had to go to Ace. It was and I'm glad we did to get a little more yellow paint, and it only been like, I was like, well, it's only been like 25-30 minutes or whatever since the last coat, so it was fine. But yeah, that stuff, it just absorbs that yellow. You need so much, and it wasn't even until like the 3rd coat that I could start really seeing where I needed more coverage than other spots. But I didn't do it. I wanted to spray the whole cabinet as if I was doing the blue, because I was like, I've watched some people where they just, like, if there's just a little slit or a little section, they'll just do this or just those little areas. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to evenly go across the entire cabinet, because otherwise I didn't think the paint would be high in some spots, and so that's why. So you saw the picture, the whole cabinet was basically yellow. But I was like, that's the only way, especially if I'm going with light thin coats, that I know I'm going to have even coverage, as if I'm doing a sweep across the whole cabinet. So so it did eat up more paint, I'm sure, but the pink and the black, it won't be nearly as bad, especially since those are darker colors and there's hardly any. The black is just the border. But yeah, it was nerve-wracking pulling it off. And then we came back from when we came back from Ace, I noticed there was like a little tiny insect had stuck to the paint.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's permanently part of this cabinet. Fuck you, I was like,
Yep. Well, I was saying, like often I find with my arcade projects, there's some sort of blood sacrifice involved because I'm really clumsy. And like in this case, it's, it's going to have even greater power because it's going to have an entire life sacrifice. Like. And so far, so good. It looks good so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So when all was said and done, how many coats of yellow did you put on there before you pulled the stencil off?
Well, had done 3. Well, okay, so
10. Oh, sorry.
Some people may count like I guess technically. So for me, when I talk about doing a coat, I like to start from the top of the cabinet and go down, and then I sweep back up. And so I suppose to a lot of people that'd be 2 coats, even though I call that one because it's one single pass before I stop. So in that regard, I would say 6 then.
Wow.
Then we came back, and then I did one more, and I was done. So now we also had a breezy day out here.
Jimbo,
yeah, we lost you.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
there we go. Yep, you're right back.
I keep toggling the mute on here because I can hear anyways.
I'm on mute.
Oh, okay. So what? Let's see. What was the last thing I said? 6.
The coats of paint you did.
Yeah. So it was also so when we got back, I did one more, so it'd be a total, I suppose, of 8 real light coats. But it just absorbs that yellow. And when we pulled it, there was a little bit of ridges, but after the paint cured, those kind of self-set. I didn't expect it, but they kind of self-leveled or went down or whatever. And it was a breezy, sunny day here, so it wasn't the most ideal for paint. Like if we really were going to be good, but the thing is, this whole week is supposed to get progressively windier. So I was angling the cabinet so that the paint would go towards the cabinet. But there were some times where the wind direction changed. There was one time where I was going right towards the cabinet, and my paint literally went 90 degrees left. I'm like, well, that was a waste.
And of course, I'm sitting there watching it, going, and there's my garage door.
You wanted this yellow too, right?
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
I told Carrie I blew my nose about an hour ago, and it was just like the Kleenex is this yellow. But
you have sunshine boogers.
Yeah, it was a lot though. It was it was a lot of code. It was way more than I figured, but then it made sense because when on the test piece of wood, I remember it took a lot more yellow to get it to go over that blue. But I'm glad we got the extra paint because I really didn't want, I could see some light areas. Luckily with the daylight, it makes that easy to see where you've got some tiger striping. But yeah, we pulled it off, and I was like, well, okay, that was it's a little bit thicker than I anticipated. But I literally went outside, Gino, after you showed up, I went out to look at it again, and almost all of the ridges had kind of self-leveled. They went down, they're hardly noticeable. It's crazy. I took 2 pictures right after we pulled it, and then after a little while, and it looks way better. But I'm anxious to get the pink. The pink, I don't, because it's a darker color, I don't think we'll need as much. And obviously the black is black. But so that's funny to talk about Gino. So I kid you not, we were talking to Gino. We were talking about you as we were painting and stuff, and we come in. I just finished. I just finished painting. Come back in, sitting down, and I noticed your car. I didn't recognize your car because I haven't seen your car enough to know that's yours. But I saw kind of pulled up the street a little bit. I'm like, oh, there's a car out there, and there's someone coming to your door, and then your doorbell goes off, and then you're like, oh, it's Gino. I'm like, he smelled the stencil. He sensed it. He sensed that there was some stenciling work going on because it happened the last time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
I've decided
squalene
you're
and xylene going on here. Yep.
you know, Gino, you are an arcade psychic because like we've done nothing, we haven't done a thing with that cabinet the whole time that Jim's been here. And then
Really?
the one day that it's like, okay, here, you know, well, I guess we put the stencils on yesterday, we painted today, but yeah, it was just so funny that it was like, okay, now we're doing an arcade thing, and it's like, boom, Gino shows up. It's awesome. It's so funny.
My arcade psychic senses. No, I was on
Yep.
my way home and I figured, they wouldn't do it today, but it was a nice day. You know, it was sunny out. It wasn't too breezy. It was a little bit, but it was a nice day. I said, there's a chance they might have done it today, but I figured, you wait for the weekend. You guys are working. I'm going to swing by on my way home and take a look. And sure enough, there it is in the driveway. It's like, wow, that looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, we had wanted to do it yesterday, but it was just too damn breezy.
Yeah.
We've been pushed.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Saturday was like today, except a bit windier. But we're like, let's just try applying the stencils, and we go out there. We lay the cabinet on its side. We put the stencil down, and it's like we turn to grab the tape, and the stencils. We were like, okay, we should probably wait.
Yeah, it was like, we went to try to get more things. Like I was trying to get more things to weight it down, and like, you know, and then somebody, you know, when the other person like holding it down, like, you know, doing the Spider-Man on top.
Kind of looked at each other
like like this is, it's like a kite. Like this is probably not the day to be
and
trying
then
to
yesterday
put.
We're like, you think we can get the stencil applied? And we went out there at like 5 p.m. and right after we were done,
we were waiting for the winds to die down a little bit because the mid-afternoon winds were the worst.
Yeah. And had you done it a month ago, you would have had a, what's this effect on it? It's a stipple, or is it a polka dot? No, that's ash from the California fires.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
This Miss Pac-Man has such a lovely smoky smell to it.
Yeah,
it's that weathered look that you go
exactly.
for.
Yeah.
It's patina.
Arcade Danger, where are you? I mean, I see your Tempest Cabaret. Are you in your garage?
I am in the garage.
Angle?
Different angle. My garage fridge and Tempest.
He's breaking into a bank vault.
Yeah.
Yep. Just working on some. You remember those little cars I was playing with last time? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of. They have lipo. Lithium polymer batteries in them. They go bad if you don't charge them after a while, and so I'm replacing the batteries inside of it. Well, catching up with you guys.
Fancy.
It's almost like having Buffett on with having somebody who's working, but you have your picture and you know, and Buffett's Buffett. There is no other Buffett.
Yeah,
I do not compare.
Buffett can work off the show because I don't want him to be in here and be like, Jim, what the hell would you do with these chassis? You know, these are the wrong cap values.
Not good. So how much is left on Miss Pac then?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yellow
What's
on one
next?
side once we get the stencil, and then we're hoping to do. Well, tomorrow I want to clean on the kick plate. There's just a hair, like 2 little tiny spots of yellow bleed off the hard edges. Which came because when we laid it, there were 2 little creases in the vinyl, so there's just a little bit of an air pocket. And so I'm just going to lay some masking tape, just shoot a little blue to touch that up. That's and then, but I think were we going to try to maybe Friday lay the pink stencil?
Yeah, I think Friday we're going to try to put down the pink stencil. Yeah, because it's supposed to be tomorrow's supposed to be windy in the evening, and the paint needs time to cure. But yeah, so windy Wednesday to Thursday, and then hopefully Friday we can put down the pink stencil and paint, and then give it another couple days, and just keep
the black.
Keep
Hammering
going
away.
at it. Stenciling, man.
The one thing I keep, like, you know, I say it to you, but it's a reminder for myself too, is that each one of these layers to some degree covers over the paint, especially the black. And so like, I don't want to do hardly any touch-ups because that's the border. And so there's no sense in getting real anal yet, I feel like. even though it looks damn good, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just nice to see something other than blue on that cabinet. It's like, oh, this could be a Miss Pac-Man, huh?
Yeah.
It definitely looked like it was coming together. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
It was.
Yeah, I think it's.
It was nuts pulling that stencil off. That came out. It's so nice to have a second. I don't know how anyone can do this by themselves. Like, I thought side art was tough by yourself, but I can't imagine doing stenciling by it entirely like this by yourself. No way. Especially pulling it off, and when you get to those little tiny areas where it's like coming off and tearing in little pieces, and you have to fish things out. Like we got the whole side off, and I was looking at it. I'm like, that looks good. And I'm like, there's a little tiny raised area where Miss Pac-Man is, like right here. What is that? And then like I need to look at the. I'm glad I have pictures. I'm like, oh, that's her armpit. We have to fish this little tiny like triangle out. Stuff like that.
That's some detail right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine when we do the black though, like because there'll be a lot of little islands of stuff. Actually, the pink too. I think there'll be a fair amount, but at least it's less paint, So hopefully that just means bigger surface areas. So I don't know. Fun.
The original. The original process for this was some sort of metal templates or something, right? And and they slap it on, hit it, and just keep moving it.
Yeah, they're reusable.
I imagine this kind of a process would be extremely painful.
Yeah, they'd hit it with a lacquer, which dries super fast, and they just throw down the next stencil and do the next color, and go.
Okay.
It'd be so much easier. Yeah.
Andrew, you did a stencil job on one of your cabinets one time.
I fucked up stencils pretty good in the cabinet. Yeah.
Yeah. You did it with
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for the run.
It's not a sensitive spot or anything.
Welcome to the human arcade collectors hangout, where we all make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, that cabinet basically got abandoned.
Oh yeah.
For that whole thing. Yeah. So
he took it out to the barn and shot it in the pasture.
Took it behind the shed and lit it on fire.
Yeah, did the humane thing. Just put it out of its misery.
Yeah.
Threw it off the roof.
Post that on Clav, a flaming Robotron. You'd probably get a package in the mail.
Yeah, it's a Robotron cabaret.
Oh no! Those are so rare.
Poor Saint. Oh yeah.
It was a reproduction cabinet.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Slap some laminate on the sides and color. No.
I still have all the parts for it too. Like every now and then I'll run across like the marquee or like the control panel, or I've got the coin doors, the tricky to the over and under coin doors.
You gotta throw that away. Just get rid of it. Just get
No, you can do it. Do it. Go back, revisit it.
Ooh, spooky Halloween. There's Mothman.
Right?
No soliciting.
Woo! Hey everybody.
Hey.
Hey, how's the flooring going? Yeah, right.
Do you have a projector on your back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sticking right out
that's really good.
on my butt. Oh.
Projector
Do you-
butts.
Good. I was talking about your window creeps and how awesome they look.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's so awesome. We got the speaker hooked up yesterday, and I was
do a little video with your phone, and
We will.
Yeah, I'm not totally done decorating, but as soon
okay.
as soon as we are, then yeah, I will do that and I'll post that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That'd
kudos
be
to you
cool.
for inverting the video too, because I was like, okay, so now do we need to? I was going into the settings. I was gonna like reverse it, and then realized that you didn't have to. Okay,
Yeah, it's made to be projected from inside. Yeah, so the Halloween spells out correctly and stuff.
Yeah,
I think,
I'm
right?
surprised at how good the brightness and contrast, like from outside, it just is crystal clear. That cheap projector does a good job too.
It does. Yeah.
What
And
kind of sheet did you use? Did you use a shower curtain? Because that's what I use.
I actually bought a projection material.
Oh wow, that's pricey because it looks great even just with a cheap shower curtain you get at a what do you call it, Walmart? You know, the one that's not clear, the one that's sort of like opaque, or I guess foggy or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you bought that, that's like the best you could get. But
it looks really good, and I didn't think it was that much, but maybe I didn't know it. I mean,
how much? How much did you pay? Remember?
You know what? I have to take a look. I want to say like
$2,000.
20 bucks or 25 bucks, something like that.
A
I
grand.
mean, definitely more than a shower curtain, but I don't remember offhand.
Because I think the other one's like $5 or something. You know, it's like
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did
So,
come
yeah,
with
so I
the
spent like
cheapest
20.
little
Yeah.
adhesive hooks ever, though.
Oh yeah, I
that
know.
stuff never works.
Yeah,
But it was super convenient, you know. But it has like the little eyelets and all that. But yeah, those little it did come with those no damage to your walls hooks and the piece of
yeah.
shit.
I would put little when I used to do
We
it
did
at my other
nails.
house. Yeah, I had the same tacks up, you know, little nails, and I would just hang them in the same spot, you know, for every year.
Yeah,
Because it had
freaking awesome.
had grommet holes in the shower curtain thing, so you could hang
Yep.
it so it doesn't rip the shower curtain. But yeah, it worked pretty good. So yeah, I'm anxious to see how yours came out. We don't
Yeah, it
really
looks
have
great.
front windows at this house I live in now, so I can't do windows creeps anymore. So I had to do it at a friend's house or something. But like your house.
But yeah, it's good. Like half her windows are gonna have stuff going on with it. It's pretty neat.
You hear my modulated voice doing the pumpkin and everything.
I haven't.
Me.
Oh, is that you? I knew that
Yeah,
was
that's
Pat. 'Cause
me.
I get tickled with the knowing that it's Patty.
Yeah, Patty's the witch. I'm the pumpkin, and it's my voice is modulated. I'll put a link in IRC on YouTube so people know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I designed and Z brushed and animated everything in there.
It's funny. I haven't
So
stood and watched the thing from beginning to end, but I think one of my favorite things is the looks like I don't know, like stone or or like a sheet or whatever with a face that comes out like it's gray.
oh yeah. Like
I like
that comes out of the thing. Yeah, that's fun.
And the
where,
eyeballs cool.
Yeah,
and then all the bugs crawl down afterwards.
Yeah, with the noise.
the blood coming down. And,
yeah, the variety of it is really awesome because it's just like you kind of never know, you know. Yeah, the brain. Like, by the way, $25 for 6 foot by 4 foot, which fit my window perfectly.
Not too bad. Yeah. I tried to I even storyboarded it and stuff. It's like, okay, now we're gonna start out with the pumpkin. You can go into his mouth, and, you know, or I think you end up in a witch's thing with all the candles, and you go inside the witch's brew. And then there's all the weird shit in the witch's brew, and I can't remember all the things, but eventually I remember there's a part where you're in a graveyard. And in the graveyard, I remember on all the tombstones, I put all the bullies from my childhood.
Oh, did you? That's
on all the
awesome.
tombstones.
Oh my God.
And then you go to a grave and you go inside it, and then you see the pumpkin again, and then you eventually end up in hell. I kind of was doing like a Mr. Toad's thing. Where at the very end of it, you end up in hell, and then you're back out of the pumpkin's mouth, and he laughs, and then it just starts all over again.
Yeah, no, it's great, and her projector automatically repeats it, and
cool.
yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Carrie had only told me about it. I hadn't actually seen it, so I didn't know. Just in my head, I was picturing a lot of like mostly 2D stuff to mock the 3D animator. I'm like, oh, this is really really cool, because like I was thinking like I used to have back in like high school and stuff, you know, with my computer I'd always put on screensavers and that were themed, and so I'd have a Halloween one, you know, it's like a haunted house and stuff, but it's all mostly 2D stuff. And so I was kind of like in my head, I was kind of picturing something like that with the sounds. I'm like, this will be really neat. And then, oh, of course, what was I thinking? It looks awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah. It's a little mix of 2D and 3D, because it's like some stuff's composited stuff in After Effects and other stuff's like actual 3D, you know, like the graveyard's all 3D. You're flying through the graveyard area. You know,
the candlestick in the, you know, in the dungeon or whatever, and
the same inside the witch's goop and stuff. I think just a few things aren't. Like I think I'm trying to remember. I think the part where all the bugs come out, I think that was all After Effects. I used a particle effect, and each particle you could have an animated looping. A cockroach. You know, I actually animated all those creatures, like the bugs and stuff. I just had them like running like this, you know, and then I made them just go random all over the place, and
particular.
And those are just animated particles, so that's why they start going more and more and more. And yeah, so there's little video tricks, here and there, but yeah, it was a fun project, and I was gonna make more of them, but I don't know. It was a lot of work. I remember that one took like 3 months of work.
It looks like a
Oh,
lot.
I bet. Yeah, no, that was and honestly for cheap. I mean, I know it was really cheap for me, and thank you. But but I mean, it's like $20 or something like that. Like this is ridiculous. Like that is a ton of work, and it's so cool. It is.
Oh, thanks.
So cool. Yeah,
I'm watching it now on.
But if you call now,
the candlestick in the hallway was my thing to the Haunted Mansion, but then the hallway starts twisting all weird. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
So first skeletons come out from the sides of the hallway, and then the hallway starts spinning. I don't know if you remember that part. It's at 2:19 in the video.
Yeah,
so
I need
I'm
to
watching
watch
it right now. I'm like, oh yeah.
I need to watch it from beginning to end because I haven't really done that yet. Yeah. We're doing volume tests last night for the speaker.
Oh, yeah. I used to put so no one would mess with my speakers. I would just put them right to the window, keep the window open, and put them near the window. Or you can just run a wire out to outside and put a speaker behind a bush or something. That's a nice.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have because this is in a second story window. So I have the, and which is right above the garage. So I just have my speaker down, I have my garage door closed and the speaker up to the little safety grate that you have in the garage door.
Oh, so that's right. That's right. Then you don't have to worry about anybody messing with your shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a Bluetooth speaker. So
it gets loud too. I was impressed.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Once we realized that you turned the projector up to, because we're not getting much volume out of her Bluetooth speaker, and the Bluetooth speaker has its own volume controls, but I didn't have the projector sound setting up. And so we realized, okay, well, you can control it from the source there, turn that up to 100, then turn the speaker up. And then it's like doubly as loud, because there's 2 volume controls. So
it's a real loud mock going.
Yeah, I love now knowing that it's you. I already was tickled each time I heard Patty's cackle.
Yeah, she does I remember telling her I'm like Jim, where you go, no, it's another take. Come on, sound more like a witch.
Yeah,
go like that.
Sound more like a witch. I thought I did sound like sound like this. That is how I sounded.
Do the witch from Bugs Bunny, the one that runs away and all her pins in her hair fly out, like that witch.
Did you play that for her? Give her
yeah, I should have just used it.
They give her a line reading.
She gets mad when I ask her for second and third takes. She goes, "That one was good." It's like, well, it's good, but I want another one. You know how it's like you gotta coax them, Jim. Like, come on, just one more.
I'm a terrible director.
Well, director.
But yes, I know exactly what you mean. I'm like, oh, that was really good. One more time.
One more time. Just
if that was really good, why are we doing it again?
Yeah.
As soon as you get a little anger in them, then that's usually when you get the good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody listening, watching, my Projected Pumpkins are over here. I'm gonna do a little advertisement real quick. Projectedpumpkins.com. This is they're singing Grim Grinning Ghost. Sometimes the pumpkins will change into other characters like this one. I have one that turns into Vincent Price for Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller and stuff. So I do not sell these projections with sound. You have to put the music to them, which all you have to do is drop them both into a video editor. And if you can do simple video editing, which a lot of kids and middle adults know how to do nowadays. So just drop, export out. That's how it's a win-win, because the music people get money for the purchasing of the music for it, and it's a win for me because people buy my animations. So,
and if you call now, you get free overnight shipping. Is that what you're saying? No,
it's a free download.
Pumpkins.com.
You pay for the pumpkins, but it's a free download. Yeah. But so with the money I've made from the pumpkins and some savings and some little bit of savings from Patty, we're able to just about make it for the floors I was telling you about that we're doing. That's what I was doing. That's why I was late. Is people are coming to demo our floors to chisel out all the old shitty tile that I hate that's here. I didn't want to do that work.
Yeah.
And you got to pay a lot for that too. So I had to prep the house and move furniture out and seal up stuff with plastic, and cover my doors where the arcade games are. I don't want them getting full of debris and dust from the machines and stuff. So anyway, so sorry I'm late, but I'm usually here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we missed you in the beginning because it was funny because Andrew started it, and then it was it's just Andrew, Jim, Leo, and me, and it's like he started it, and I think all four of us were like, okay, if nobody, I'm not going to talk because I don't want to have to introduce the show.
It was a great staring contest when no one spoke for a good couple minutes there.
Yeah, exactly. So
minutes,
we haven't actually ever officially started the show.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the Arcade Hangout. Yay! Where we talk about Disney Plus and how shitty it is and how great The Boys is and how fun stencils are and and window and projectedpumpkins.com. plug. But yeah, so I heard that you had more stencil problems. Jim talked about it briefly when we did movie night.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, it's still shitty, more shitty stencils that you gotta return or get.
Yeah,
more
we just have to wait for the missing side to be sent. It's just so funny. I mean, it just seems like curse of the Ms. Pac-Man stencil. but I don't know if you saw the pictures in Slack. We got yellow on the kick plate and one side. Yeah. So
yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So we're working through it, but it is kind of funny. Like, can this just not go
this way though?
Yeah.
That sucks. It's like I'm wondering if everybody got a big bad batch of Miss Pac-Man stencils all over the place. Are they new old stock or are they new?
Well, I know because we've had from two different vendors. So I think actually both were fresh because vendor number one, it was that was a Christmas present for me, and I think that Jim was like, oh please, can you please do these in time for me to have them for Christmas? And then vendor number two, I'm sure printed it when I ordered it. So I don't think anything's sitting around.
Not coming out shitty, I guess. That sucks.
Yeah, the quality control has been a little spotty. But you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. There wasn't any of those like inspected by number 12 stickers on there, which always makes you feel better when like you know that your underwear is
someone looked at it.
Like like this has been inspected.
Like underwear.
Yeah.
I just feel better when someone's inspected my underwear and catch out those band lines and
this stencil smells like underwear.
Check for holes. But yeah, so that sucks. That always sucks because you're all like set to do it and shit, and you're all like, okay, let's get this done. And then you take it out, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've been talking about it's going to be so hard when we're done. Presumably we'll be done with the rest of the cabinet, knock on wood, by the time that the stencil shows up, or at least so it's going to be like, okay, we've gone through all of this and now we have to do it from one stupid side 3 times. Fuck you,
piece by piece.
Yeah exactly, with the same like a drawn out timeline.
That sucks. My Robotron had another problem this weekend too.
Oh no!
What happened?
I don't understand this. Maybe Gino can answer this question. So it's playing fine, no problems there. Sound's working fine, but when I turn it on, it did that usual. I have that high score save chip in it.
Okay.
The one that you don't need the battery for. It's just
the NV RAM or whatever.
I have that. And it's been working fine, except for until this weekend. It's weird. It did one of those weird errors where it didn't save this time. So I'm wondering what happened. That's so weird. Have you ever had? You don't have one of those? Do you know?
I've never used one of those. And the other thing I don't use in them is a switcher for the power supply. I still use the original.
I have the original still too. Yeah.
Yeah, because that has something to do with saving the scores to the table and everything when you power off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that had something to do with it, like glitching it out or something. I've heard people had problems sometimes with the depends on the power supply you have, but I heard it's usually if you have a switching power supply is when you have those issues.
Exactly.
So maybe I have a switching power supply. I don't even know it. I thought it looked like the original though. I looked at it, and it looked older than my grandpa's rubber. So I don't know. It's old. It's old. So yeah, I don't know.
So what's it actually doing? It's not.
Well, it messed up the scores. They're all like jumbled, weird graphics for the scores now. And then I turned it off. Oh, and it also reset everything to factory settings, which is another weird thing because it usually saves everything using that, like your free play and all that. So I turned back on free play and I shut it down and turned it back on, and it saved. So then I put up a high score, turned it off, turned it on, and it saved the high score. So I don't know what the fuck's wrong with it.
Yeah, I've never used those because I don't know how well they work. I typically do the battery mod on that and take out the alkaline battery and just put like a button battery holder in it and use a lithium battery and then just use the original NVRAM instead of the.
See, that's what I was doing, yeah, but it was having some issues, so I switched it. So I don't know. It's these 30-year-old games, man, I tell you. But I really love Robotron. So
it's no longer doing the.
No, it hasn't. I haven't had any issues with anything but the score this time. So I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's that NVRAM.
Oh, let me turn on. I'm going to turn on real quick and see what it does.
Dallas 19 or are they 1991s or whatever? Those Dallas NVRAMs. Yeah.
The one with the battery.
I've got a tube like this long, full, just chock full of them. eBay special. Yeah, because I think the only game that I actually use that in is Gap Plus, but I figured I'm like, that's the common one. I'll probably need more down the road. Might as well just get a bunch. Who knows how long they're good for anyways at this point.
Hey guys, it's a little late on the East Coast time. I'll hopefully see you guys a little more often in the upcoming weeks, but talk to you all next week.
Sounds good.
Good to see y'all.
See you, Leo.
Thanks.
Later, Leo.
Later.
Toodaloo. Mock, you're muted. I'm just kidding. Oh, there you he came on.
Okay.
All waiting with bated breath.
See you, Leo. I can hear him on my earbud.
Popped right out.
It saved everything. So I don't know. I don't
know. Sometimes it just glitch out.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It just glitched out.
Those boards. I used to work on Defender, and my understanding was the way the programming happens is when the voltage starts to drop. That's when it gets put in and saved. When you put on the switcher or whatever, it cuts off too fast, and so it doesn't have that gradual. Yeah.
Oh, that's this shit.
So sometimes it could be that you powered it off too quickly or something. Something like that.
You looked at it wrong.
I looked at it wrong. I played it too. I had too much fun with it.
You didn't whisper enough sweet nothings into the ear.
Yeah, I didn't pet it and
stroke
whisper things to it.
I
love you.
So you're not sure if it has the original linear power supply in it?
I thought it was. When I looked last, it looked like a really old power supply in it. Okay. But I'll have to look again. Sometimes I miss look at it, and I'm looking at the old one that they left in there, and the new one's like hidden somewhere else behind the coin box or some shit. So I'm gonna really take a good look at it, and I'll let you know. But I don't know. It's too bad because it's like I just want to own a game that I don't have to like have problems with every
Yeah, but you're a pin guy.
I know. Pin things have problems too.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
I'm having a little bit of problem with Tron right now. One of my switchers is having some issues, so I might have to order some switchers for the ball I don't know what you call it. What do you call that? The hopper, I guess. Whatever the ball, when the ball drains,
Vertical
it goes into the little trough. There's a bunch of little switches underneath that trough. The ball rolls over. To let the computer know that the ball is in the drain, so it's not reading quite right on one of those. So, but it doesn't. That's another one that doesn't happen all the time. So it's really hard to troubleshoot shit when it's not an all the time thing happen. Yeah, it's very hard to troubleshoot it because it only happens once every 20 games, and sometimes if I shake the machine, it sees it. So that tells me it's probably a switcher issue that's just not getting pushed enough, or the leaf switch not getting hit. Not leaf switch, but
are there optos in there?
No. It's well, there is in the game, but not for that.
Yeah, well, no, because Judge Dredd and Star Trek both use optos in the ball trough.
Yeah, see, no, mine are the switches in the ball trough. Uses optos for the disc battle part.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think some other areas too, but not for the ball trough. Yeah, so
I know that. So they, regardless of like how it's the switches are closed, one of the problems that both of these games actually have is that the trough isn't, it wears over time or something like that, so that sometimes the balls won't sit quite where they need to be against each other.
Yeah,
and there's a like, it's like a Lexan insert you can slide into the ball trough that is smooth, so you can replace it easily, but it also lets the balls roll smoothly through the trough. I don't know if that's a problem or not, but
yeah.
I can actually pull it out real quick because it's super easy to get to.
Go play with those balls.
So it's clear, but so that just sits in the ball trough, and then it just encourages the balls to roll forward.
Oh, see, mine's made out of metal.
Encourager.
Mine's metal of that.
Yeah. No.
So does that sit on top of it?
This goes into the tray inside the metal.
Oh, okay.
So you just slide this in, and it just basically, then the balls just rest on top of it.
Okay, and then maybe So is that a part that came with the pin, or an extra part you bought that goes in there?
No, it's an extra part I bought. Yeah,
it just helps it.
I was having problems with it, with that specific problem, and one of the switches just not triggering correctly, and then I had to nudge the machine to get them to fall in. And this has solved that problem completely.
Oh, okay. So where'd you get that? Just any pinball part place, or
one of the part places? Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what it's called?
The ball encourager.
Balls across the chin.
I'm sure if
thing.
Ball
chin
teaser.
slapper.
Ball trough guide or ball trough something. I'm sure it would show up.
I'll do it.
Carrie comes back and we're talking about balls.
Right? Yeah.
Playing with balls.
Guiding the ball.
Impeccable
Playing
timing.
I
was thinking about
Always.
Carrie's pins this weekend, actually. I was thinking about, because I saw the picture she had of her new mod. It's really cool for Twilight Zone.
They are. We
that
played
really cool eyeball
shooter rod.
Plunger. Yeah, the plunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing you got?
So there's a plate that actually goes so there's this little plate that goes on that's spiral that looks like a spiral.
That's in front of it?
Yeah, exactly. And then because normally it's just a little silver. Yeah. And then I got the eyeball. And then actually the thing that I haven't shown yet, and I'd done the Robbie the Robot. I'd shown that to you guys before.
Oh, that's right. The Robbie the Robot.
And
that thing's way cool.
Yeah, he looks really cool. And then I actually got another one that I haven't even mentioned yet, which is I got a spiral. So it's like a little disc. It's on a motor and it's in the back, and it activates with the spiral mode. And whenever the spiral mode light flashes, it rotates and it looks good. And I just ordered. This is what happened because I got rid of one pin. So I'm like, oh no. And then I've been playing Jim's pin where he's done such a nice job modding everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't really done that much with Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And
well, it's pretty modded out too, so it's like hardly anything to do to it.
Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, there is exactly. Like it kind of naturally comes with lots of stuff. But one of the things I bought that's on its way, and this is a cheapo, I think like $20, is it's a LED strip that goes in the back to illuminate the backboard because that game's really dark back there. And I'd gotten the one mod that I had bought for it initially was like the gumball sparkle thing, and it has like lights, and it lights up the gumball machine, and it's color interactive, and I love that it helped light that up in the back. But I bought some blades for it, and so I'm excited to install those. But that's partly where I'm like, okay, I want to do all these things to it before I put the blades in, before I put the pin blades in, because I don't want to, each time you lift up the playfield, even though I got the protectors, still, it just makes me a little more on the nervous side. So
it'll be so easy with 2 people.
I have blades and 2 of my pins, and they end up getting. Well, I don't use, like, Jim has that cool thing that kind of protects them when you lift it, which is pretty cool. I don't use that, and I have just
Wonka needs it. Absolutely needs it.
Streak on it, but
and I bought those. So I do have. I was like, for all the trouble of putting the blades on for that I think they were $35 or something like that. Like, it's worth it just to go ahead and get those. So So I've been trying to get, kind of everything set. So then when we put the blades on, it's, at least minimizes the number of times I'll raise it. But I've got this little LED strip. I looked at the Penn Stadium lights, and I'm like, it's just so much money. I just can't justify it. But I think having lights in the back.
Yeah, you don't need it for Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Well, I might be able to talk Keith into. Keith made me some pin blades. Maybe I can talk him into making you some, because he's got a little kit that he made his own. They don't interact though, but they do just plug in, and boom, your whole playfield's lit up and looks great. Has the guard too, so they don't shine in your eyes.
Oh, nice.
And he did it too.
And I don't care about.
And I want it on mine now.
And I don't even want interactive, but just being able to see it a little bit better.
Just brighter, just so you can see all the awesome artwork. Like Wonka has such killer, bright, colorful artwork. You kind of. I think like even Andrew's Judge Dredd has some dark areas that could be lit up. Would probably help with some Penn Stadium, like in that back there and things. With the sniper area.
Those Penn Stadiums get so freaking bright. It just blew my mind how bright they are. In fact, I run my Wonka at 15%. That's how much. I mean, like I go back and forth sometimes between 15 and 20, and that's it. Like I don't need any more. I just
want it to take away from the lights in the field too.
No, exactly, because you want to be able to see other things going on with it, but you just need things a little bit brighter. Some areas, and like you said, it's so colorful. You want to see all that stuff. But and it is fun that they interact, especially with like the Wonka Vader multi-ball. You got the UV stuff going. When you hit the gobstopper, it interacts, and then of course they interact with like Wonka's office and stuff, which I need to get to again. I suck at that game so bad.
It's hard to get to. Did you see some of the new pins that came out? Like the Avengers pin Stern put out?
No, I haven't seen anything.
I've been getting emails about Guns N' Roses for
the Guns N' Roses one is so popular. I didn't know Guns N' Roses was so popular, but they're so popular they sold out. In fact, they oversold because
Chris Rhodes bought one.
The unfortunate thing is that the dealers weren't given the amounts they're usually given, so they oversold to their clients because they didn't know it'd be so popular, but they thought they'd usually get their usual amount, like 500 or whatever it is, and then boom, all of a sudden there's a deficit. And the reason why is because the company Jersey Jack decided to sell it themselves as well. And most companies don't do that. They usually always send out to dealers. Yeah. For some reason, Jersey Jack wants to try to do it themselves. So they're like, sorry, dealers. So they fucked over the dealers. So now the dealers got to call, the clients and go, oh, sorry, you can't they're telling everybody you can only have one. You can't have two. So, some of the elites out there have like 2 homes. I want one in home number 1 and home on the beach. Fuck off. Anyway.
That's definitely a 1% problem.
And I want a tax break.
And no pay taxes either.
But Jersey Jack also sold Wonka's. You could buy it directly through them too for Wonka. I remember.
Yeah, I think so. But they didn't have a turnout like this. For some reason, I didn't know Guns. I mean,
it's because of coronavirus.
Is fine.
Everyone's
cool.
tied up in their homes. They're like, I need a new pin.
But everybody's saying it's an amazing pin. It looks amazing, plays amazing, all that kind of thing, and it does look cool. I
haven't looked at the.
I'm not a super fan though, you know.
I'm
It's
just
like,
not a big
Yeah,
fan
I
of
don't
the
really like the
music-themed
music.
ones.
Yeah.
yeah, Child of Mine. I'll play that.
So what artwork did they use? Did they use the young Axl Rose or the current day Axl Rose on there?
It's the older Guns N' Roses. It looks like to me, but there's a top hat on the playfield. You know, the slash hat. But there's a Fender guitar on the playfield too, like a long, I don't know what you call it, because I don't know guitar speak, but the whatever the long where the strings are, you know, that ball actually goes
Strat or
down
whatever.
that.
The fret.
Yeah.
Oh, I did
Let's
see
if I can
that.
find some
A picture of
let's see
that.
if I can find some pictures on.
I did see a picture of that now that you mentioned it.
Here.
I thought there already was a Guns N' Roses pinball.
There is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That was one that Slash helped make. But no, this is a brand new one with I think it has like 4 or 5 albums on it or something. But it has all their big songs.
You could be mine.
Let me see if I can find.
Oh, great! Now we're gonna get taken down off YouTube.
Yeah, and I watched Slash get interviewed on that Jersey Jack on.
Okay, here we go. Let me post this, and you guys can see what it looks like. It does look impressive. I'll admit it does look cool. But I don't think I'll get one.
Which one was that? Aerosmith. That
I'd love to play one.
We like the game, just not the music. Like we're like,
yeah, I think that's one because that's where you launch. Yeah, you launch the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out the link in the IRC if you
really fast
if you guys have access to the IRC. If you jump ahead to like 40 seconds, you can start to see the playfield stuff. There's a lot of upper and lower areas too, which is kind of cool. There's a spinning record player on the playfield that you can spin, sort of like remember the Aladdin lamp that you could spin in like a Arabian Adventure? It's like that, but a record on the playfield. It's kind of cool.
Ooh, I wonder if it's like my new spiral mod in my Twilight Zone that spins around.
Oh, and there's instead of the usual spinning, you know, the spinner that usually can hit, it's a guitar pick. So they've done some cool things with it. But
well, that's clever.
Yeah, it's I don't know, check out the video. It looks fun. I want to play it, but I won't get it. I'm getting floors instead.
Well, you'll use the floor every day.
I've been wanting floors so bad. I got the worst. The tile I have. You've been to my house. You've seen like I have this white tile, but the thing is that's really black. Whatever the material is black, and they paint it white, and they put a glaze on it, and then they set it. So if I drop anything on it, like a can or a cup or something, chip, and then you get this big black ugly mark in your tile. It's so ugly.
Shit.
You know, I didn't put the tile in. It came with the house that way. You know, the white tile. So
that's what whiteout is for.
I know. I have gone around with one of those white paint pens, you know, and like
touch up paint.
Yeah. No longer. That's awesome. What does the new stuff look like?
Garbage.
So
are you putting
so
down?
You sat there, Guns N' Roses pin, floor, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and Patty said, floor.
Yeah. I gotta give a gift. I gotta pay it forward once in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
I want a new floors too, really bad. I couldn't stand that tile and the rug. I should, you know, the rug with the animals peeing over and over again. The same, the pee arena.
They compromised and got Guns N' Roses tiles. For their floor.
So
is it all? So what is the new flooring?
Well, that's coming in a couple weeks. We got the kind that it's the what's it called? What's the materials? There's 2 different types of materials with
luxury
porcelain with but with you know, the ink jetted to look like, you know, wood. It's like chestnut brown wood looking. It looks really nice. Stuff. It's just
so it's not engineered wood. It's like like
porcelain
wood texture.
Porcelain, yeah, porcelain stuff.
Porcelain wood grain.
Yeah, to make it look like it's wood stuff. And we have some friends that have it and stuff, so it's like it looks really nice. And when I saw it, I told Pat, I want this someday. I want to get this someday. I hate our tile. It's so ugly. So it'll be a reality hopefully soon. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah,
Yes,
It'll
it
look
sounds-
nice when it's done.
Yes, but you guys. So it sounds like you guys are going to have to live with the kind of the demoed floors for.
We are for a couple
couple
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this
Yeah.
tonight, I wasn't just moving furniture. I was like taping around like drawers and cabinets and stuff because when they demo, all that dusty shit goes inside your cups and your glasses and your
It's everywhere.
it goes everywhere. Yeah. So like I sealed around my arcade room some plastic and upstairs some plastic around some doorways and things. So that shit just goes in the air, then it settles and it's just
crazy
It's
how
all
Bondo
over.
dust.
so much. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Or red tint paint.
Yeah, we were gonna do the demoing ourselves, and I don't have the machine to take out the old tile. I was just trying to scrape it myself. I'm like, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I start
Fuck
doing it. I'm like,
that.
oh, my back. Oh, my arms. In my 20s, I'd be like, yeah. Plus, I was broke and I didn't have money to pay for it, so I had to do it.
Yeah, no, we had our floors done in January too, and my wife and I, we opted to same thing. We got to get rid of the carpets. It was a peeing contest between the pets, so
Yeah.
took all the carpets out and
Piss fest.
yeah, they did each room in about a day. They knocked it out, but we originally looked at what you were looking at, the porcelain wood grain tiles. My wife and I saw that, and she said, we want something that's wood grain. So in the end, we ended up not going with that because our house is on a concrete slab and it would be super cold. It's not heated. So we ended up putting that luxury vinyl tile down. It looks just like wood.
Yeah.
And it holds up great.
So I have a picture of it. See if you guys can see it. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Here. You see that? That's a sample of what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's
That's gorgeous. Sorry, I said that
anyway,
before. but
it'll look like that.
Yeah, but bigger.
And all over the place. Yeah.
Woohoo! You can run around with that in just your bare feet and don't have to worry about stepping in anybody's piss.
Yeah, the animals don't pee anymore now that of COVID. We're all at home and we can let them out and stuff. So it was our wiener dog that was doing it. See, we had an accident where we lost a wiener dog in the backyard, like a hawk went and took it away or something. We don't really know what happened. It just disappeared one day. So my wife's been, that's like losing a family member. So, it's like, so my wife has been hyper paranoid about leaving the dog. We used to just leave the dog in the backyard all day. Well, not anymore. Now we just keep the dog in the house and the dog has to go potty and there's nobody here to take her out. So it would always go in the living room in the same spot, pee, and get home and try to let her out. But so now that COVID and we're home all day, we can let her out a few times and she hasn't peed since. So, but the damage is still done. So
yeah,
it's just you can only shampoo it so many times and
yeah,
Yeah,
can't
and
get it down to the pad.
It gets in the pad and then
it's in the pad and crap. Yeah, and just,
So how much of your house are you actually tiling then?
Oh, just all of the entire downstairs except for this office and the arcade room. The arcade room already has some tile on it, same sort of similar tile. But this room's going to stay carpeted, and we want to do the stairs. We just don't have the money for it yet. That'll be a future upgrade when we can do it. And I don't know. I'll probably do the demo on that because it's just carpet. So that'll be in the future. I'll have somebody tile that up.
That's still huge. I was for some reason I was thinking maybe you were just doing the kitchen. But yeah.
Yeah, no, we're doing everything downstairs.
Cool.
When you first walk in and the living room and in the kitchen area and that TV room, all you guys have been in my house, so you kind of remember.
Yeah, I'm doing a mental tour right now. I'm remembering the kitchen and the living room area.
You just remember, eating yummy food in the kitchen area.
I was gonna say I was doing a mental tour, but I stopped in the kitchen and with where that was amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I get your house and Keith's house confused sometimes when I run them through.
They're sort of similar layouts. So the stairs are kind of when you first walk in and stuff. Yeah, they're kind of similar.
I haven't been there enough. I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
It's like because like if I'm visiting you, then we're also going to visit Keith at some point. So it's like
because we're so close.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Keith in a while. I gotta give him a call. It's been a while.
Yeah, miss that dude.
Yeah, I talked to him when I was doing the work on the Robotron monitor. He gave me a call. I got to chat with him for a little bit. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He
Yeah, I'll have
sounds
to
busy
reach
as
out to
usual.
him. Yeah, he's been really busy with his side business and his work and stuff. So, but yeah, I've kind of haven't talked to him in a while. So he doesn't really like to get together too much because of COVID. So, understandable. So
We'll
but I
make
gotta
up
give
some
him a
reason to
call.
call him. Anything pinball related that you need, Keith?
We'll be like a
We'll think
Sean.
of something.
Hey, my Robotron's not working. Can you come over and fix it? Full of Sean.
I need you
That's
to
what we're gonna call it from
3D
now on.
print something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true.
What happened to your
Just don't-
Robotron monitor, Andrew?
Hey, did I say Robotron?
I thought you said Robotron.
Warlords. Sorry.
Oh, Warlords.
Yeah, I was having
that's
problems
right.
with the inverter.
The white, it was turning
Board.
white instead of black or something.
Yeah, no, it was literally just it was inverted. So yeah, the Sanyo was expecting an inverted signal. So I was having problems getting power to one of the inverter boards. Buffett helped out, and Keith helped out. So yeah. At the end of the day, it was 12 volts. We were getting lots of confusing. I think the documentation says 16, and that definitely doesn't work. And 5's not enough. So
I think I
Are you
ran into
switching
something
power
like that.
somewhere, or what do you mean 12 volts? Like, what does that mean? Like you switch power somewhere?
So the
or-
little inverter board
it has
requires
external power.
voltage. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
So
it.
I'm just
has an
pulling it-
adjusting thing.
No, it's just a single pin on there.
The board itself needs power. So it's a
Okay.
little standalone board that's just sitting on the monitor.
Uh-huh.
So I just pulled power from the AR2.
Yeah. I remember I ran into something similar to that when I was working with getting the red tent to output for my capture rig, and I was like, "Why isn't this?" And it was the power. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's what this little tiny 3-pin Molex with one red wire going to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the Sanyos have the wire that come directly off the chassis, so you just if you're using it in a Sanyo, it's usually really simple.
Yep.
But for some reason, this little 13-inch Sanyo doesn't have
Oh, that's weird.
the wire.
Yeah.
So
the chassis doesn't supply that.
yeah, I mean, I didn't pull it apart, but there's no like wire there with the
because like on both on the Sanyos I've got, it's hardwired to the chassis. It just comes off there because you're like, if you don't know, like on both of my Sanyos for Punch Out, they don't have an inverter board mounted on them. And so it took me a second. I'm like, oh, that's for the inverter board that would normally be or could be here. But yeah, so that's just dangling. So it's so weird having a chassis with a little Molex that's just not connected. It's just
there. I mean, I guess theoretically you could put an inverter board on there and then just do the
just pass it through.
Just do the pass through on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have to. That'll be the last thing I do is that. I'm not looking forward to it. I have enough inverter boards, but I still have a spare Mike's Arcade one, and then I have 3 Sanyo ones from when I was working on my rig. People on that was one of the pay it forward things I was surprised with. I put a wanted to buy on Clav, and I had at least 2 people just like, oh, you can just have this. You don't even need to pay shipping because it's so small. And now, rare moments. Yeah. So I have these, but I'm not looking forward to that. That's a pain in the ass. And then I have to start like doing math in my head, like, okay, so the signal from this comes to here, gets inverted, goes into my rig, comes back, needs to be re-inverted, goes in. Okay, how do I mark all this? It's a mess. Because Nintendo's like, let's invert everything.
Yeah, it's weird. Does it power both inverted and non-inverted signals? I mean, can you get both out of that inverter board? Because I wonder if you could use the capture card.
Not
simultaneously.
Nope. That was the first thing I tried.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that would be too perfect.
No-go. Yeah. And then the other thing is that I was like, oh, well, I could just use because I bought 2 of the Mike's Arcade ones because they're really clean, nice boards, and inverting it one way, so inverting it out into my capture rig worked great, but feeding it back through another Mike's Arcade adapter, my monitor didn't like that, so I had to use the actual Sanyo one to do that. Like, why? I don't know. but that's how it works. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
The Mike's one use the same connector for power. How are they powered? I guess
I think so.
Just the same one.
I think it's the same one. They come with their own Molex like connectors with wires that you can feed wherever. If I recall, I haven't looked at it for a while, but I believe they came with they have multiple different types of Molexes based on what kind of monitor. Like if you're using like a normal standard, like a Wells, whatever, they have those, but then they also have the Sanyo ones on there. So you take your pick. And then for the power, I think they have their own power Molex with that, but I think it's the same 3-pin one, same 3-pin style.
Makes sense. So if you're replacing it on an existing Sanyo, it's just a plug and play thing.
Yeah, they're not cheap though. I think they're like $40.
So, yeah, I thought I saw them on his site not too long ago, like 35 or $40, something like that.
Yeah. So they're not cheap. I remember at that point I was so invested in it. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy 2, and I'm ready. Like it's a terrible mindset. It's like I'm already in it for this kind of money, and I want to finish this project, so I'll just spend more money. And then I realized that for some reason my monitors didn't like it going both ways, and then I was so sure that it would be a piece of cake because I think it's the FrameMeister. I think both FrameMeister and the other box. Fuck, what's that called? The other capture box. Keith would know the name of it. I'm drawing a blank, but I have the FrameMeister and then I had the other one, and I think both of them have on their remotes you can invert the signal. I'm like, piece of cake, I'll just hit the invert. But nope, didn't like that. It wanted to. They always want to look for a regular signal. They can't accept an inverted signal. You can invert that signal, but you have to have that because I think that it's like the white level is overpowering and it washes everything out. So you could, if you turned the contrast stuff way all the way one way, you could kind of see the picture, but it's because of the brightness of like the white is just too overpowering.
Interesting. That sounds like the effect that I was getting. I think when I was running 16 volts to it, where it just washed the whole thing out. You can kind of make out the castles, and they're blurry in the background. Right.
Yeah, it's
similar.
It's so weird because I think it's just a voltage thing because I'm obviously like the brighter a color goes or the more intense it is, the higher the voltage is, and once it gets to a certain point, it just kind of washes everything out.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to go down that whole road again because that would have been a great project for this pandemic, honestly. Now that I have all this time in the world, I remember just being like, what kind of fucking rabbit hole did I go down here? Because I started that, was that like 2018? I started that it was like March, something like that. And I didn't finish it, I remember, until like July or something. It went on for months. And I have so many, it was funny, I was going through my box, I was looking for some part, maybe it was even that Mike's Arcade inverter board. I was going through boxes and I've labeled everything. I'm like, and I'm looking at all these parts that came from that rig, all my trials and stuff, like inverter / video capture parts. And I open it, open it up and I'm like, oh yeah, here's a failed product. Here's a failed product. Here's something that didn't work that I thought would work. Here's a, experiment. Yeah, it was just like, wow. At least the shit works, but I haven't used that. I haven't done a stream in so long.
I know it's all that hard work, and you don't even use it.
Well, when Punch Out's done, that's going to get some serious use. I was telling Carrie, I've got a lot of fun ideas in the hopper for non-arcade videos that I want to get back and do. I have some top 10s I want to do again. I have a whole series, a brand new series that about movie talk that I'm really excited about. It revolves around horror movies. It's all about endings to movies, and
and their endings,
like whether or not it stuck the landing, so to speak. That's kind of gonna be
if it's a good ending or not.
And that's kind of gonna that's my loose title for the series is gonna be, does it stick the landing? Because of all genres of movies out there, nice, Muck.
There's my window creeps.
Of all genres of movies out there, I feel like scary and horror movies are it's most crucial that they have a solid ending. You can have a shitty movie, but you have a good ending. That's what you walk out on, like if it's spooky. But if it's a great movie and the last 10% sucks, it could ruin everything. And I don't feel like there's not another genre out there that is entirely like that. So I thought it'd be fun to do like a short little review, whatever movie I'm talking about, and then obviously a spoiler warning, and I'd be like, does this movie, the question is, does it stick the landing? And then be like, yes or no, or thumbs down.
Doesn't that
Just
suck? Because it's like a
short.
movie could be amazing, and then the last 10 minutes, if that ending sucks, it kills the whole movie. Usually,
really
it
does.
does. Yeah, we've had a handful of those.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like they didn't know where to go with it. It's like such a killer premise, but then they didn't know how, like you said, stick the landing. It's like and that just kills the entire movie.
Or or it'll be like, it'll take a completely different turn for 10 minutes. Like, where did this come from? It doesn't follow any, so we've actually talked about this quite a bit. And so I was like, oh, this would be kind of fun to do. Like, they could be short videos, and because I like to do movie reviews or talk about movies, and I haven't done that for a while. I haven't done top 10s. I came up with some really good ideas I'm excited about to do for more top 10 videos like I used to do when I had a shit load of time. So so I kind of want to get back into that groove. I've got some more. They're a lot of work, but I want to do a top 10 Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors for next Halloween, because it does, like, there's no way I'm going to get to it now, and I don't want to release it.
I know. Get the butt over here and the head over here.
Yeah, I know, you're right. You get the whole dog.
Just spin around a couple times.
She does. I think I'm going to get the butt. Oh, no, wait. Yep. No, I'm totally going to get the butt, and you're going to get
when the music stops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got the butt. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I want to get back into those, doing a bunch more movies. Me and my buddy Dan will want to do more guy talk stuff, but I don't see us doing that like we've talked about doing like a Zoom or something. I can record it that way. But yeah, I want to do some more I've got kind of the itch to do more of that stuff, even though it's a lot more effort. Once Punch Out's done, I think I'm gonna hop on that wagon again. And then I'll raise a lot of false hopes from people on my channel, like, why don't you do more of these? I get that.
Because
it's like so easy. People that don't do any video at all, they're always like, why can we not make more videos? Yeah, it's like, it's a lot of work. Even just simple, like, I mean, I really get impressed when I see people like start to put like high production value into stuff, and because I know what it takes. It's like, so when people just go, why don't you make more videos?
Because it's not my full-time job.
Yeah,
like
it's because I'm not a YouTuber sitting at home in my mommy's basement.
Yeah,
not the worry. I can eat Hot Pockets all day and make videos.
because I'm not a hot teenager playing video games.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, it's
I'm not hot anymore.
although you say that as you're consumed by fire. Exactly, that was great timing. I'm not anymore. It's like flames are behind you.
Oh, my pumpkin.
Hey Steve, good job on putting up a watermark on that.
Yeah, I put one.
That a boy. Yeah. Nah, yeah, I miss doing. I want to get back to doing stuff like that. But the second I stop doing it, like, I get people. Oh my God! I think I may have told you guys about this, but I've been getting daily a shit ton of flood of comments on my Karate Kid videos and on my Cobra Kai stuff.
Oh,
and then
a lot of people are watching that now, like, because now
Netflix.
It's available for everybody. Yeah,
because it's on Netflix. It took me a minute. I'm like, people are commenting. They're like, "How was this posted X amount of years ago? How did this video?" I'm like,
people do searches out on YouTube, and so anybody talking about it, that's it's just weird
because
they're just seeing it now. They're seeing it later. I mean, YouTube Red, who has that? I mean, only because we were interested in seeing Cobra Kai. We figured out a way to go watch that shit, but the average consumer is not going to get that shit. Think my mom and dad are going to
Yeah.
get YouTube Red so they can watch PewDiePie do pranks on people? Fuck no. No, that was garbage channel. I think they just like pretty much let everybody go on that. Isn't it just a failed project? YouTube
I
Red.
think it's
think
really
so.
phasing out.
Yeah.
By the way, behind you right now, that's
Oh yeah.
that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
So what I did was I had a flat surface. I made it really high density pixels, and I took it into ZBrush. And what you can do in ZBrush is you can do a snapshot, like kind of like in memory, of the flat surface, and it has a texture on it, so it looks like concrete. And then what I did, then I sculpted the monster. And then what I could do is there's a slider. Since I have a snapshot of it when it's flat, I can use a slider and bring the face out or make it flat, bring it out or make it flat. And I can animate with it too, like in certain areas. So it was really neat because I could take that into Maya, the animation thing, and like make them look around, and then make them go flat again with because I have slider controls that I had programmed from ZBrush. So it's pretty neat that you can, have those kind of fun effects like that. Make a face come out of a flat surface. Kind of like that was kind of my homage to Freddy when he comes out of the
the
walls. Remember that part? That's where I
so
was thinking
awesome.
of when I made it. Yeah. So something that comes
And
out
that
of a
effect
flat
still
surface.
holds up to this day.
It's so cool. Yeah, that's one of the best looking ones because everybody was doing it after that came out, like doing the rubber wall.
And it's such a simple effect.
And it never looked as good.
Yeah, so creative.
The lighting is so great in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not taken for granted,
man.
but they don't light Freddy very well. It's done just right where he's in the shadows and you can barely see his face.
Yep.
And you can just barely make out that he's burned and ugly. But then in the later movies, like I just watched the one with I forget which one it was, but it's the one where he has the power glove. It feels like a Looney Tunes.
Oh, Freddy's dead. Yeah,
Freddy's
and that's
dead. And he's fully lit and the power glove.
Well, and there's not a lot of definition in his makeup. Yeah,
it's so lit, bright, and everything. And he's sitting in a room. It's nothing scary about it at all.
No, and they talked about that in a documentary that was a conscious decision to make it into like a bug.
Silly,
it really was
movie.
like a Roadrunner type. Yeah,
it was. He even pushes out the spikes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that documentary, did you see the Darkness 2?
I saw that you posted. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I've been watching some trailers on it, and I got they're doing stuff like on Pinker from Shocker. They're going like some of them that they didn't. They're hitting the ones that they didn't hit. That we remember. We're like, oh, they missed this, they missed that. Well,
yeah,
they're going to cover all the shit they missed probably from the 80s. So I definitely want to be a patron. I think it ends at the end of the month to support that. So I'll probably be supporting that one. So I want to be in the credits again. I want to be this big, really fast going up.
Pause.
With a million other names. There I am.
There's 10 other Steve Wessons. No,
yeah. No, I was Mock on that one.
I am Mock.
No, Mock the man. Yeah. So what was that called? Search of Darkness 2, I think it's called.
In Search of Darkness 2.
Yeah. So, are you going to be a supporter on that one, Andrew? You think?
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
They did a good job with it. So
they're fun.
And
we're still waiting for this.
In Search of Tomorrow.
Search of Tomorrow. Yeah. The like the Last Starfighter and all the sci-fi
explorers
shit.
and stuff. Yeah.
Explorers. Yeah. Did you ever see the Explorers that was done on Robot Chicken? Where they show the three kids and then they're doing explorers and they're doing the code in that they got from their dream, and then they create the ball, And like, cool. Hey, with certain coordinates, I can make it move around the room. And you know how they made it go crazy? Well, it starts going through their head and their body, and they're like all getting riddled, like they're all shot up full of holes, and they all fall over dead, blood everywhere.
I love Robot Chicken.
Then the scene ends.
One of my favorite Robot Chickens is the Never-Ending. Well, they did a few Never-Ending Story parodies, but the Never-Ending Party one, where Atreyu's in his in his house, and he's talking to Falcor, and he's like, he's vacuuming. He's like, I'm so bored. He's like, it's Friday night. What is there to do? Nothing, Atreyu. Nothing. And then he's like, where's where's Sebastian? And then it cuts to Sebastian, and he's reading Neverending Story. He's like, and then the boy took a big dump. Hey, I'm taking a big dump. Whoa! And then, it's so funny that he's like, and then he's like, I know. Let's have a never-ending party, and it's all like the parody of the song, and he's flying on Falcor to the liquor store, and they have this big like huge party, and the Empress is there, and Sebastian slapping her ass. She's like, say my name. It's so fucking funny. Like all the characters are there. That's on YouTube. It's so
okay.
fucking Robot Chicken.
I love Robot Chicken. There's so many funny skits on that.
It's
so funny. It's a 10-minute show. 10-minute show.
I'm gonna pull up the link, post it in our chat, and someone can put it in.
I think on Family Guy they made fun of it because like Seth Green, that's his baby, is Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
So Seth Green does the voice of the son.
Oh, and they make fun of that on
yeah, they made fun of it on Family Guy. Like I think.
They were going back.
Griffin goes, 10 minutes. You think 10 minutes justifies that? That's a whole show? I don't think so. And then the son's like, it's a show. It counts. It's not. Breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
Oh, there it is. Like the whole, let me see. Yeah, it's all here. Okay, I'm going to post this in our chat.
The little demons in this part that are behind me, those are the little demons from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh.
That used to be, well, they're still there actually in that ride. It's like sculpting them and having them jump around. And those are my daughter's doing the demon voices, by the way. I forgot to say that part.
Oh, well, you got the whole family in there.
Yeah, I got the whole family in there.
Do they get royalties?
I had her giggling, and then I changed her pitch and stuff and doubled her up, so it sounds like a whole bunch of different demons. So
yeah.
Every time someone buys it, you have to give them a couple bucks.
Yeah, nickel.
Well, they got floors.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not bitter about this or anything.
Yeah.
No, I actually really want. I'm the one that came up with. I suggested it. I go, let's get floors, or we can get a Wonka pin.
Well.
But you guys can see just how cool my house is now with my projections, right? Like that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
You did such a good job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, anyway, what's going on? What other fun stuff? What fun stuff do we have to look forward to in 2020?
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend.
Just don't say it can't get any worse. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not going to even say that anymore because every time I say that, the next day something awful happens.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory that's going around is that time travel is real, and somebody keeps on coming back to 2020 to try to fix things, and just makes it worse.
They keep stepping on butterflies.
Yeah, exactly.
Pushing the butterflies.
There are 5 Biffs right now in 2020.
I have been seeing like on TikTok, like for some reason, I don't know if you guys play around with TikTok at all, but it's something I kind of poke through before I go to sleep. If you like stuff, there's some sort of algorithm in there, so it knows to show you more of that shit. So, funny doggy video. I like that. And that's funny. So I made the mistake of double liking a conspiracy thing, and then I get a flood of conspiracy shit now.
Oh no!
It's like a wristwatch found 5,000, been buried for 5,000 years. That's time travel's possible.
You should start a thread on Clav.
and then there's another one that shows ancient Egyptian. Look at these paintings, and it looks like they're opening up a laptop. Have you seen those?
Oh my god, that's funny.
That's like, oh no. And then there's videos of showing people looks like they're holding iPhones to their ears while they're walking, but it's like it could have been a compact or a makeup thing or You know.
Yeah, they were using tablets back then. Stone tablets.
Stone.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
Exactly.
Like, wouldn't they not be in a group using that if they were time travelers? They would be like hiding somewhere to use their technology. They wouldn't be doing it in the open. Plus, what signal? There's no phone tower. Or is there?
Time tower.
Yeah.
As Mock's flying through the tunnel of yeah. Ah, look out!
Caco demon.
I was going to go into hell. Yay, I'm going to hell.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah. You're falling into
Yay,
2020.
hell.
Whee!
That's where all the fun people are gonna be.
Time to
Totally.
play
Oh, here we are. Oh, it's hot here.
Umbrella Academy 2020. It's real.
Oh, hey,
You
Gabriella.
have sunk my battleship.
Here, I'll switch the movie. I got another one. Have some fun with some backgrounds tonight. Let's see. Whoops, I don't want that.
Well, you own them.
Yeah, I'll do the one with Jack. I can't jump ahead though.
What'd you guys think? Did you guys have fun with Oh, sorry, Mock. You weren't there
With
for
what?
the first two with the Child's Play back to backs, but that
Oh,
was
yeah.
a lot of fun.
Oh, what got picked for next
did,
week? By the way, I forgot to look.
Puppet Master 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did ask that. Okay, got it.
What was the third? What was the third movie we watched? Oh, Tales from Dark Side.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that was a good.
And we watched
Not brain scan, brain damage.
Brain Damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched
The little-
Brain Damage.
Angry little puppet alien thing.
Yeah, that was like a real proper voice. Hello there. I can't do it, but he has like a real proper voice and proper English. And hi there, Charlie. Yeah, and then he fucks with the guy, and the drug is so incredible and awesome, but like the recovery from it. What did they call that? What is it? Withdrawal. Yeah, the withdrawals are like they show what you go through with the withdrawals, and it just looks like the most fucked up, awful thing ever.
Oh.
So yeah, that movie's a trip. So Andrew had to leave later, so you got to still watch the last 15 minutes of that
15,
one.
20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. It has kind of a shitty ending a little bit. I mean, how do you end in a movie like that? But I think it's kind of I don't know, the ending's okay.
It does
So
not
it doesn't stick to
the
landing.
ending.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those ambiguous sort of endings. I don't know. You'll see. I know, Kieran, Jim, you got to watch that one. It's on.
All right.
It's out there. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch it.
We just watched Body Snatchers, the 1993 one, just the other night.
Not the one where they use the military.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one that much. It was okay. I like the Donald Sutherland one a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, that one's so good.
I know.
I mean, that's just
Jeff
that's the thing of it.
Goldblum, young Jeff Goldblum. He's all
Yeah,
young
speaking
and
of-
hot.
Speaking of Jeff Goldblum, did you hear that the next Jurassic World movie, the third Jurassic World movie that's in the works, not only has Jeff Goldblum black, he had a cameo. If you haven't seen the last one, he had a cameo in the last one, but Sam Neill and what's her name?
Oh, they're bringing everybody back.
Yeah, in a
wow.
big way, it sounds like. So
Okay.
for the next
Laura
one.
Dern.
Haven't they learned their lesson yet not to open
Yeah.
up a park?
Well, if you saw the last movie, it's the park is no more, and now the title. Yeah, it's
I watched the last one I saw was the one where he's like riding a motorcycle with the raptors and all that shit.
okay. So that was the
Chris
first
Pratt.
Is that
Jurassic
World?
World. That was
Yeah,
the first
Jurassic
Jurassic
World.
World. The second one,
It was all right.
I won't spoil anything, but
I've lost track.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Clever girl.
the last one that came out is like, oh, now they can basically take this any way they want. Like it really opens everything up. It's not, I won't. If no one's seen it, I won't spoil it, even though it came out 2 or 3 years ago. But the ending is like, Oh, now I've seen it all. Now, fuck, anything can happen.
Yeah, no.
Adult theme park that's gone wrong. I thought we were talking about Westworld.
Nice. Yep.
Speaking of another series that went way off the
Especially
rails.
Disneyland with
Yeah,
COVID
right.
right now.
Started out with a great story, and then,
And then, is this over yet?
yeah.
Fucking season 3.
Yeah, I never watched season
First
3.
2 episodes is like, oh, this is interesting. Oh.
Yeah, was that season 3? Is it season 2, right? Wasn't it only 2 seasons? No, it was season 3. I just totally repressed it. Yeah.
Season 3 is where it's like the real world. They all come to.
Okay. So that wasn't 2. I blended.
No.
Okay.
2 was still at the park or at
yeah.
the.
Yeah.
3, they're like, okay, they're out there. And then it's like, fucking Dolores. I'm so sick of you.
Yeah. I think I only watched a couple seasons of it.
So go watch Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch that one.
I just finished The Boys.
Or Jurassic Park.
Oh, you did? Who's finished The Boys yet?
Of season 2.
There's only 8 episodes. And Andrew, where are you at?
Like halfway through.
Oh,
okay.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, totally. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, it's not for the squeamish.
Good.
There's a lot of blood.
I'll
in
just
it.
say thumbs up. Very good.
I love it. It's
Very
so good. It ends awesome too.
Yeah. They stuck the landing.
Yeah, and I like where the new direction it's going to. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've only seen the first 3 for the season.
We can't talk about it. Oh.
No.
Oh.
No, but except I think we can say it's good.
It's good.
Yeah,
yes.
it's good.
It's my favorite TV series right now. So
yeah,
I can't think of something I like better than that.
It's so messed up.
We're getting through American Gods right now too because of you.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I've only watched the first season of that.
We're on
American Gods. What is
we're
that
like,
on?
You know, it comes up with the little thing. It's saying Amazon Prime, but I don't know if it was actually on. I didn't think it was Amazon. I thought it was actually on Stars.
Oh, Stars or something.
Stars sounds
weird.
right.
Yeah.
That's a really weird, cool show though.
That's a show that I can compare to Westworld in that you can't watch that after you've been drinking. You have to be so focused and
listening.
The dialogue
yes.
and keep up with the characters. There's so many details,
and it jumps around too. Jumps
And
in
it-
time, jumps in place, shows you something from the past, and they're gonna
some of the
refer to it
dialogue's real
later.
snappy and quick. You have to be in focused and invested. So
No, you can't be drunk watching that show.
No, that show in Westworld, it's like no, we have yeah, exactly.
That's why
it's
there's
like
Robot Chicken. I
concentration.
can watch that all drunk.
Yeah.
Very little continuity on that.
Robot Chicken. That's why Robot Chicken comes on at like 10 or 11 at night.
Watch that link I posted. Watch the Never Ending Party. That's so if you know, well, you guys are familiar with Never Ending Story, so you'll get it.
Yeah,
It's
I like how he
funny.
starts out. He's vacuuming Falco. Oh my God.
I think I've seen that one. That looks familiar.
The turtle. We are so wasted. It's like,
Let's see.
so funny. And listen to the lyrics in the song. It's so damn funny. Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, did you add those movies that I sent you, the anime ones?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay.
I can do whatever I want. Right, Mock? I can do whatever I want.
What's that from?
The Boys.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that until Andrew's seen it, but yeah, that's something that shocked me because that's from season 1. Actually,
it's very out of context, though. Yeah.
That's from season 1, and they were actually did it. They showed it. So weird, right? Because I talked about that weeks ago from a documentary about the boys from season 1. So that's just weird. They used old footage from season 1 for season 2. And
Right,
it got
'cause they
clear
were like-
now. So what's up with that? That's weird, right?
Because
That's
they,
weird that I talked about that.
this is successful. We're making money. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I already talked about this, Andrew. So remember the scene I told you where Highlander goes to the top of a building and masturbates on the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they used the scene, so that's from season 1, but they didn't use it because remember I told you because I was watching
Oh,
a
it was too
making
much.
of for
Right.
season 1,
It was a
and
bit gratuitous.
they told them they're talking about it in this documentary, like, oh yeah, Amazon said, hell no, you're not going to put that's just too gross. You can't put that in the show. And here I'm watching season 2 and I see it. I'm like, what the fuck? I guess the show's so popular, like, you guys can do anything you want.
Yeah, fine, okay. Yeah.
Keep somebody on Fifth Avenue, it'd be fine.
I feel sorry for that guy. Oh my god. Yeah, that doesn't ruin the story in any way because it's like Carrie said, it's super out of context. But
Yeah. No, he's up there spreading his compound D.
Oh, nice.
Or C. Or S. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Compound C.
Yeah, Highlander's character. He's over the top.
I love him. He's
Great
funny in
actor.
interviews
Yeah.
and stuff too. I love
Is he?
watching him. Yeah, he's great.
He's funny, yeah.
Yeah, he is a pretty funny guy. He goes, I got laser eyes. What do you got? So,
Yeah, a lot of good acting in this again this season, and I really liked what they did with the storyline, and I'm glad
and I heard it's not following the comic any like it just the characters that are in the what you're seeing are in the comic, but it's not following the comic.
Not following the comic anymore now.
Yeah, it's more like they're taking their own. It's sort of like what I don't say like Game of Thrones, but it's sort of like they've taken the characters that are there and made their own new story with it. But with
Game of Thrones was weird because they started following the story, then they broke away, then they started following it again, then they did their own thing again. So,
yeah.
And they fucked it.
And then they fucked the end. They didn't stick the landing, right, Jim?
No, lots of skid marks.
Oh my god, that was horrible last season. I don't even want to talk about it.
You're encouraging Jim to finally watch it.
What was the other? 1408 we watched. That was from 2007. That was
a
enjoyable.
I love
that was good.
That was a lot of fun.
What's that?
It's about
That's the
like
John Cusack movie.
Yeah, the haunted hotel.
Yeah, so it's the writer.
Yes.
Yeah. The
That is
the
a
writer.
really good movie. That movie freaked me out actually watching that.
Yeah.
Watch that with all the lights out in the house and it's creepy. Because I thought it was kind of stupid. Oh, he's going to be in a room the whole time. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I brought a bunch of movies over here because I knew we were going to be out here I was going to be out here for the better part of the month, and I was like, well, here's like that site that I had stumbled upon that I told you guys about, allhorror.com, and they have amazing top 10 lists you can go by, like psychological thriller, like they have just boom 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 boom. And so I started going through all those top 10 lists, and I'm like, based on like the style of horror movies me and Carrie like, I'm like, well, okay. I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen this one. I'm like, and I came over here with like a dozen. I came over here with like a dozen movies, and I remember the trailer for 1408, but I never saw it. It was one movie I just never saw in the theater. And so I pulled a bunch of those, and we like supernatural and scary and ghost stories and things like that. And so I brought a bunch of those over here, and we just been going down the list, and that was the first one, and we both enjoyed that one a lot.
And Patty and when my wife and I watched that one, we thought it was sort of like a big budget Twilight Zone movie. It felt like a Twilight Zone episode. That felt like to me, like because the setting is just sort of in a room, but they did some really cool things with that, to fuck with you.
Oh yeah, there are some like
and it just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah, the whole thing starts out pretty tame and then just gets off the wall and starts out with a little clock radio. We've only just begun, and then
yes, I love that they had the original Carpenters on
Carpenters.
Yeah. I was telling Jim that when I was a kid, my dad had a actually I ended up getting from him his 240Z, but it had a 8-track player in it. And he had like a stack of 8 tracks, but there weren't very many that I was interested in. And I think there were 2, but the 8-track that I remember the most is the Carpenter's "Close to You" album, and that to me is like my childhood because it is just listening to, because that, you're kind of trapped there. And I think other than that, it might have had like an AM radio and then the 8-track kind of thing.
Yep.
And yeah, so when that song came on, I'm just like right back with, it was
being
awesome.
a kid, because I remember hearing it as a kid too. Exactly, Carrie. That was a big song. So and my parents even had Carpenter's albums and shit. So
yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think my parents had a couple different Carpenter's albums, but It's Close to You was the album that I remember.
And then Carl Weathers sings that song in Happy Gilmore. That's how I knew it. I'm like, wait, this is the Carl Weathers song.
Oh, I don't even remember. So I don't even remember that reference.
Yeah, I know. That's where.
So what other movies did you bring? Well, name off some of the movies, so I'll tell you if I've seen them.
Shit,
oh yeah,
I used to be really into horror, so I've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's stuff that we actually haven't seen, so I haven't
seen the
remember.
newer
They're all on
stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
almost everything in the 80s.
I've seen a couple of them.
Wait, I think I can pull it. I think I might have that list up on my home computer. Let me log into it.
Jim, do you have the Frighteners?
I love the Frighteners.
Yeah, me too. Andrew doesn't have it, so I was wondering if you could rip it for him.
I might have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you classify that as? That's kind of like horror comedy.
Comedy
right?
horror.
Yeah.
I love the story in that though. It's pretty cool.
I think I saw it on one of the streaming services. I think I don't know. It may be on Amazon.
That'd be a fun one to watch too.
Yeah, it's a cute movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Peter Jackson film. Before Lord of the Rings. I'm overdue to watch Lord of the Rings again. That's like a movie I gotta hit like every 5 years or something.
Yeah.
You gotta I have a whole weekend to watch that though.
Yeah,
I have the really extended DVDs that are really long. And there's all this extra footage and shit they added. I mean, real stuff that should have been in the movie though. You know the guy that trained Gandalf, is it Aragorn?
Saruman.
Whatever his name is. Saruman, yeah. They showed his demise in the extended cut. It's they don't show it in the theater version. It's why did they cut that?
Yeah.
They should have had that in the movie.
But... let's see here. The Possession from 2012. The Haunting in Connecticut. Starry Eyes. The Innkeepers. Videodrome, which you guys should
seen that.
Probably heard of.
I've seen
The Changeling. The Vanishing, House of the Devil, which we already watched. Goodnight Mommy. And I think that might be it.
So there's two pretty good movies that I've seen recently with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you like Nicolas Cage, but Crazy Cage. It's called Mandy was one of them. I like that one.
Mandy.
Yeah, that's a creepy.
I think
one.
it's a Barry Manilow song.
There's a better one that I think you guys
Mandy.
would like.
You came and you gave without taking.
Jim, I think.
But you something.
No,
Mandy.
I think I had an 8-track of that.
That's right. Yeah.
So
But
Jim
ever
Carrey.
since you've been gay, Andy, Dad, either you're infatuated with a girl named Mindy or a man named Andy.
So Jim Carrey will like this movie. It's called The Color from Space. I think that's the name of it. But it's an H.P. Lovecraft story. And it's about this meteor that hits this farm next to this well. And inside the meteor is some sort of energy force that emanates different colors, mostly purples. And it starts to distort everything around it slowly. And Nicolas Cage is on this farm with his family. And it starts to starts to distort things near it, like plants, bugs. But then it starts distorting other things, time, water. You'll be washing dishes, and then the next thing you know, you look at the clock and 3 hours has gone by and the water is overflowing in your thing. You're like, what happened? It's it'll jump you in time. You don't even know it. Just it starts distorting everything. And then it just gets worse from there. I don't want to say everything that happens in it, but it's a pretty disturbing movie. It was I don't know. Let me see if I can find a trailer for it.
Sounds like the elongated.
Just came out. It came out last year.
Really? Wow.
Sounds like the one where Stephen King found that meteorite and grew grass all over him in the farm.
Yes, that's right.
Meteor shit.
Holy gee.
Meteor shit. Yeah, it's like that. Oh, it's called Color Out of Space.
Ah.
Okay, here, let me just, you guys watch the trailer. It's a real short trailer, but you can see it has decent production in it. It's not cheap at all. Just I put a link in the IRC. Like jump ahead to like, I don't know, like 30 seconds in, you can see some of the shit. But it just fucks everything up so bad. And it's, well, I don't want to say, but
Were we talking about Tales from the Hood last Saturday? I think that got brought up.
We've at least talked about it recently.
Yes.
I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but yeah.
Because the Tales from the Dark Side. We start.
Yeah, there's a little hint of The Thing in this too, as far as like, distorting stuff. As far as I'm talking about the Color Out of Space movie. Oh yeah, Tommy Chong's in it. He plays a hippie that lives on a farm next door.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So has anybody heard about this remake of The Thing that's coming out? It's either a sequel or a remake.
What? No. They don't need to mess with perfection.
I mean, it was already a remake of an original one in the 50s.
Yeah. The Thing and John Carpenter's The Thing are so far removed from each other, though. Yeah. I've seen both of them, and the first original Thing is more like a Frankenstein type monster chasing people around. He's like made out of plant matter, and then they electrocute him and kill him at the end. It's just like, it's just a
spoilers.
50s.
I didn't get a chance to watch that yet.
You won't see that. That's dumb. It's really dated. And then you watch John Carpenter's, it's a whole different thing. It's not, to me, it's a totally different movie. So yeah, on a genetic level.
Yeah, I think I even saw that 50s one. I'm pretty sure. I went through a big phase of watching like all those as much as I could.
I used to play them on TV all the time when we were young.
Creature features.
Yeah, Creature
Yep.
Features.
God, I used to love
Elvira.
Creature Features.
I think I might have watched an Elvira, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabriella, let's see. Hereditary. Okay. Oh, Hereditary. That was a creepy movie. Carrie didn't like the ending of that one, but that was the one that didn't stick the landing.
It did not stick the landing, so just a big fuck you to that movie.
Did you like that one, Andrew?
I didn't like the ending either. I thought most of the rest of the movie was fine, but the ending was really disappointing.
Again, it was like, oh, I'm in. I am in. This is okay. I'm engaged. Oh, wow. That made no sense. You pulled that out of your ass. Okay.
Yeah, they felt like they wrapped it up way too quickly and sort of like just threw it like, oh, it's just going to be supernatural. You're like the devil's kid or whatever it is. It's like, oh, whatever.
I sure felt bad for the dad in that movie, though. So horrible. He throws the book in the fire. It's like...
Yeah, no, I mean, there's some great stuff to it. Like the whole thing with like the figure in the upper corner of the room, and then it crawls across it. And it's like there's some good creepy,
great visuals
stuff. Yeah, but the story just was disappointing at the end.
That almost makes it worse because you end up rooting so much for a good, that it sticks a landing, then it's good. It's whereas if it's in the big, if the whole thing's like, okay, well, yeah, okay, that was a mediocre movie. Be like, oh man, it was really good up until the ending. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like it takes something away from the rest of the movie that you enjoyed. It's like, I wish they'd done something different. The rest of it would have been so much better. But
yeah, and it makes it hard to say, like, oh, is this a good movie? Well, it was.
Right.
Did you guys see Midsummer?
Yeah.
Andrew, you seen that? Okay, so, Carrie, did you see that one? That was that was kind of an interesting movie. It's about these this girl and her boyfriend and some of his friends. She kind of tags along on a trip where they go. They go to Finland. I forget where they go. They go to
it's Sweden.
Sweden, maybe. Yeah, it's some foreign country, and it's some kind of middle of nowheresville. Real pretty, But they go and hang out at a summer festival.
It's like a commune.
Really, it's like a cult, though. These people. and they start to realize it's a cult, but they're super nice, and they like that they like to eat peyote or mushrooms or whatever and trip out, and they're into that stuff, so they're tripping out with them and having fun and eating their food and learning about their culture. But as they learn more about their culture, the more they wish they didn't learn about their culture because it's so fucked up.
Yeah, you find out pretty
and it
quick.
gets worse as it goes. It's a slow build, but I know did you like the movie or not?
Yeah, in general, 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, oh, you liked it. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I liked it a little more, but I thought it was kind of cool. I like that. If you look carefully in the movie, there's paintings on the walls and designed blankets and things. And if you look closely at the pictures in those, it describes everything that's going to happen in the movie.
That's cool. I mean, I remember seeing like
interesting.
the bedroom area.
Yes, and that has stuff, all that. And at the very beginning, they show a painting too, and and if you look at the painting, everything that you see in that painting happens in the film, including the middle and end. So, Jim, did you see that movie, Midsummer?
Oh, he can't hear you. He doesn't have his headset on yet.
Okay. Jimbo, did you see Midsummer?
I hear everything. What? No, I didn't. I heard that's really disturbing.
Okay.
It's got
you might want to check that one out. That one's kind of cool.
Have you guys?
That's on the streaming service, I think. Right now.
Yeah, it's on either Amazon or
Netflix.
Yeah,
Netflix
it's been on for a while.
Yeah, it's been on Amazon for a long time.
Have you ever seen? It's not a horror movie. It's a suspense. Enter the Void.
Oh yeah,
that sounds really familiar. Yeah,
that felt like Hellraiser kind of to me.
Really? You're the drug dealer living in Japan, and
I'd like to fill her void.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
That's Batman Returns.
Enter the Void. Oh, maybe I'm just thinking of The Void.
That's called Enter the Void.
Enter the Void. Let me check that out.
It's pretty disturbing.
Oh, someone posted the whole movie on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was nice of them.
Thank you. I can watch it later. Let me save that to watch later. Thank you very much.
You'll know you're watching something different. As soon as you see the opening credits, you know you're going to be watching something different.
Okay. I haven't seen that one. Oh, that movie. That's the trippy movie. That was on Amazon Prime for a while. I didn't watch it though, but it was in my queue, and then they pulled it. I hate that. Don't you hate that? They pull movies and they're in your queue, and then you go, I'm going to watch this, and it says you can rent this for $6. It was free, part of the service.
Yeah.
So okay, well,
it's pretty graphic.
Is it?
Yeah. Great graphic. Has some graphic moments.
Yeah, talking about fun horror movies that we like. Well, Andrew, do you have any horror movies that you like from your past or present? Anything you can think of?
I mean, not stuff that we don't already have on the list. I mean, because it's like that was. I mean, aside from the stuff that's been added recently, it's like that is my movie collection.
Yeah, that's a lot of it is horror now. Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. I'm here for October. I know. I told Andrew, and I was telling Carrie too, and everyone else. I'm like, well, sorry guys for sabotaging October, but I seem to be the only one that really submitted a shit ton of horror movies.
I know. I suggested like a handful.
Perfect. Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching the two Child's Plays last week. It was fun.
Yeah,
wasn't
the
new one so much?
I really enjoyed the new one. I went into it going, I don't know. It's
surprising.
The remake, but it's great. It's totally
and it is a different movie. Yeah, it's hard. It's tough. I mean, the loose premise is the same, loosely, but
the name.
But it's a different movie, and Mark Hamill has the voice is so.
Yeah,
he kills it.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's awesome. I love that he's kind of made a pretty strong comeback overall. I mean, yeah, he was doing the voice of the Joker and a bunch of other animated voices and stuff, but
when you watch a movie, like seeing it a second time made me even more appreciate just how good the acting and the dialogue is well written. That's, I mean, like there's kids that are actual like teenagers, and they talk like kids and teenagers talk, and the humor is good, and it ramps up at a good pace. It's not like it's very well rounded. It's a really good movie. And
So would
like
you say the
Andrew was
sequel
saying,
is better than the original?
well, it's not a sequel. It's
Or
like
remake.
an update. It's like an update of
Yeah.
the original. It'd be like if it's the closest thing to if you took the 1998 Child's Play and brought it into 2019, but at the same time, the story is slightly different. It's not a serial killer doing voodoo into a doll, and that's all I'll say. You really
So it's a
really
reimagining,
should-
kind of like Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a reimagining. Yeah. And it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, they're both fun, but yeah, they're just very different movies. I mean, there's a puppet and there's the same title, but beyond that, yeah.
Very little in common. Yeah.
How
Or
was
not Puppet Doll,
Aubrey
I'm sorry.
Plaza in it?
I'm already jumping into Puppet Master.
She, she does a good job.
She usually plays the quirky girl, so
Some of that comes through a little bit.
okay.
But she's totally believable. It works.
Her first mommy role. You better watch out with those
Yeah.
mommy roles. If you start doing a mommy role, you're gonna be typecast as mommy roles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm kind of with Andrew, like because they are two different movies, but I thought it was easier. Surprisingly, I was a little skeptical about, like, even though I'd seen them, I'd never seen them back to back, so I'm like, oh, this might be a little bit much. And I know Gabby was skeptical at first too. She's like, oh, it's the same movie. I saw part of, but I mean, she appreciated it near the end, and I think a lot of people got a kick out of it, enjoyed it, and I think they played in the right order too. Even though one came out before the other, I think just having that order was good, and
Yeah.
it was a fun time.
Yeah, I wish I was there. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the other Child's Play, but I like the first one a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to see what they did with it.
And they're
kind of
both
redone one.
I think was it how long? I don't know what the running time of the 2019. I want to feel like they're both like an hour and a half ish.
Yeah, I think
Or
the
call it
second one
being
was like
shortish.
it was like an hour
I
and
remember
35
we're like-
minutes. I remember looking at it and it was like an hour 33 or hour 35.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, we could totally do, because those are two short movies. We could totally do a third movie. Like, it was like, wow, this isn't that bad. But yeah, I remember the one thing that really got me to the theater was, honestly, it was knowing that Mark Hamill was doing the voice. I'm like, okay, well, that helps, because like with
Bonus.
any other reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it, like Nightmare on Elm Street, I was always disappointed, and so I was like,
I
when
never
was-
saw that remade Nightmare on Elm Street, the one where
It's awful.
it's a remake of, like, I heard it's almost a shot for shot remake.
No,
of,
it's not. It
Except for there's
really
more of the Freddy before he becomes Freddy in it.
There's a little more. The only thing I would say that gets points in my book for the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street reimagining or boot or whatever you want to call it is
Yeah.
that they do this backstory thing with Freddy that is kind of ambiguous, in that it makes you almost get like wonder or start questioning whether or not the people, the parents that killed him, basically whether or not he was innocent or not. It makes you wonder, because they
make it more ambiguous.
it makes it ambiguous, like,
hmm.
and which I kind of like, because it's like, well, that's an interesting ploy, that maybe this guy wasn't the evil
And then it's
child
his revenge
molester,
for doing that to him.
and that goes on for a good chunk of the movie, and then they do answer that. They don't leave you hanging. They do answer that question, but as far as like everything else goes, I was like, I mean, I love Jackie. Shit.
Or Haley.
Yeah.
Bad News Bears.
Yeah, Watchmen.
Watchmen, he was great in Watchmen. I love
Robert
his
Englund
character
or
in that.
Robert Englund is not. He doesn't have a
Not
cameo
in
or
it.
anything. And
Mm.
and I went into it already kind of having my own opinion because I was like, how do you top this?
Was the gore a lot better and stuff? I mean, was it like done well and stuff? Or I guess I should just watch it.
The gore is, yeah, you can watch it. The gore is what it is, but the makeup and stuff for Freddy, he is just like,
yeah, I heard people didn't like it.
no, it's like someone wearing like a face net or something. It didn't look like it didn't look right. I'm sure they were trying to go for something realistic, but I thought the makeup for Robert Englund and stuff was, for the originals, were, especially the first like 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, was way better.
Yeah.
But I did like that part of the story. I always forget about that, but that ambiguity. Thank you. I'm a lightweight now. I can't. Yeah. That I did like that. I did like that aspect of it where you didn't. Where they played that off, where it's like kind of leaves it to you for a good chunk, and you can kind of see the motive if it went this way or the other. But overall, no, they had some interesting, it could have been interesting ideas, but the execution, everything I thought was off. And again, it's like, it'd be like if they remade Princess Bride. How do you top something that was so well done?
I really Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I don't want that remade. Don't remake that.
Just come up
with
a new
remake
idea.
Wizard of Oz.
Either here's my thing with a lot of stuff. Either come up with a new idea or a new twist on it, or try to make a sequel. Or don't try to redo something.
So here's my thing on that is like, I think if a director is going to do a sequel to a great film, that they need to respect it and not shit all over it when they make their sequel. So let me give you an example.
Don't retcon anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's an example of that, and I hate it when directors do this. Is let's take the movie Alien, for example. Alien was a cool movie, had a great aesthetic. Who's the director in that? That was
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. Yeah, Ridley Scott. It was just an amazing. I mean, talk about taking horror to another level. I mean, before Alien, horror movies were sort of schlocky and shit. But that movie was so set. I mean, they got real designers. Like they got Sid Mead, who did Tron, by the way. Sid Mead helped design the spaceship controls and Mother, the computer, and all that shit was all Sid Mead, the designer of Tron. And they had that horror nightmare guy. Help me, Andrew. What's that guy? That painter? Giger. Geiger counter. Anyway, they got awesome talent to make something so freaking awesome. Okay, so we move forward. Great film. You watch it today, it's a little on the slow side just because movies back then were a little slower. It's understandable. But then James Cameron takes it and he respects it and he kicks it up a notch, and he still uses Sigourney Weaver and does great things with her, and it's kind of neat that it shows that like she got lost out in space and get picked up and it fucks up her whole world, and of course the company is a big asshole to her, and she's all fucked up. And anyway, he did a great job with Aliens. I think it's one of my favorite films of all time.
It's one of the best sequels too, just like Terminator 2.
Yeah, same thing with Terminator 2, but that was his own franchise. I'm talking about when a different director takes over.
Okay.
So I can't remember the director's name.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
So the director that takes over for Alien 3, talk about shitting all over the fucking franchise. He starts it with their ship crashing into a planet, and Newt is killed. Bishop's killed. Who's the Marine that was damaged? Hicks or Hudson, I forget one of So I get him mixed up in the movie. But yeah, he's killed too. Talk about shitting all over it. I mean, you just kill everybody, and then it's almost like, oh well, I'm just gonna take it and start over and start from scratch. Here we go.
Yeah,
it's like, what a fuckhead. I get so mad at that shit. And I know, Jim, we have conflicting arguments, but I'm going to talk about Star Wars. It's the same exact fucking thing. Yeah. It's like that director. I forget his name now. I'm trying to forget it. Talk about shitting all over it too. Ryan Johnson did the same exact thing. He's like, "Fuck you, J.J. Abrams, and your whole what you have set up for this. Fuck you. I'm gonna do my own thing."
No, but you watch those movies, and it's obvious that there wasn't an outline for the whole series. I mean, I will say that for sure. And then they gave it back to Jay, and it's like, here, let me correct all your mistakes.
Well, Abrams said in interviews that I gave Ryan Johnson an outline of where everything was supposed to go, and he took it and went like this. Boop.
Yeah, but there wasn't a treatment, like a pre-treatment, like for the overarching trilogy.
There was not anything written as far as like dialogue, but there was a tree of where stuff's gonna go, where Snook or whatever the fuck his name was, his whole backstory was there. There was probably nothing with the Emperor because everything was probably Snookums.
I like
Snookums, whatever. What I'm saying though is that there was an outline, just and he just shit on it.
Yeah, not for the whole
trilogy. A big dump on it.
Yeah.
Arcade Angel looks like he's in VR for a sec.
Nice. For infrareds, he's picking locks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just something that really bothers me when I see directors that take over what if someone does like Big Trouble in Little China 2? It's going to be garbage because they won't respect it.
Well, if you want to argue about Star Wars, though,
if it happens, right?
I'm not going to see it.
Yeah,
you can also make the argument though, like if you want to talk about Ryan Johnson with Star Wars, is that George Lucas had an entire treatment of where he wanted those characters go, and Disney's like, that's interesting.
Trash. I know, same thing. This doesn't sell the toys and things and rides and I don't know.
Did you hear the rumors that George Lucas, like the rumor about George Lucas now is considering doing his own version of the trilogy?
No.
Yeah. Around now recently.
You mean like everything else wasn't canon to start fresh and then have Luke and Leia back?
I like the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his track record for remaking movies is fucking spot on.
Or just making movies this day and age.
Yeah.
He needs to just retire and just roll around, and he needs to jump off his diving board like in DuckTales into a
Scrooge McDuck.
Swim around.
But you know what? You know what though? If he did something like that, or like Disney, like everyone they'd eat it up because that'd be a fucking vault of money. Like just a
That's another Robot Chicken where they showed Scrooge McDuck. He dives off the diving board, and when he lands in the coins, he breaks his arm and legs and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
That's a Family Guy.
Oh, was it Family Guy? Oh, I got it wrong.
Yeah, because Peter wanted to swim in the money.
Was
that the welfare money when he gets like checks for like $20,000 a month or something like that from welfare?
Was it like a mistake in the system or something?
Yeah, they fucked up.
I like that episode of Treehouse of Horror, the clones one with Homer, where all they keep cloning and cloning themselves, and so it shows this big scene of all the Homer clones, and some are really fat, some are skinny, some have weird shaped heads, and then you see like the season 1 Homer, and then
and they look all weird.
In the background is Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I love fucking Treehouse of Horror. I don't give a shit about the regular season of Simpsons anymore, but I do have to watch the Halloween one. Yeah.
Red Letter Media. Did you watch that when they covered the Marge episode? How creepy that was.
Yes. Yeah.
Was
how
so
they predicted
weird.
stuff.
Okay. So they covered this episode that's like came out a long time ago, right? It's called Marge and Chains, I think it's called. Right?
It's like season 3 or 4 or something like that. Yeah.
single episode. But get this, they predicted in one episode so many things that happened in 2020. Killer bees is in the episode. People rioting in the streets. Trump being president. COVID, but it's not COVID.
Pandemic.
It's they show in. I think it's in China, and these people are packaging like stuff to ship to America, and a guy coughs into the box, and then he seals it up, and you see like this like green dust in there.
Yep.
And they seal it up and they ship it up to America, and then somebody opens it up in Springfield and it gets them sick, and then it spreads and they get sick, and it spreads like COVID all over the place. And there's all these things that happen in the episode that mimic all this shit that happened in 2020. It's so weird.
And they've done that with several episodes.
Yeah, it's usually here and there, but this is like a whole bunch of things in one episode. And they cover it in the Red Letter Media thing. So if you ever check that channel out on YouTube, and I mean, I'll put a link here.
So we're being sent messages from the future in Simpson episodes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe
Oh,
that's
for
something
sure.
that's time traveling, right?
It's subliminal.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
called-
fun channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that channel. Here, I'll post the link in there.
Wisconsin
if you guys
dudes.
wanna. Yeah, there was Wisconsin dudes, and they put out a video a week, and I like their I don't always agree with their comments on stuff, but they do have interesting things to say, I think. And
Well, I stumbled upon
they like
them,
horror too a lot.
I stumbled on them upon their channel. My brother-in-law actually tipped me off to them because of the prequel Star Wars trilogy where they did that's probably.
Oh,
what
I
they're
love that. They
known
go
for
cover
is-
all the Star
yes,
Wars films.
The Blanket reviews.
The Blanket.
Number one.
That's Jay. I think
Yeah.
that's Jay doing that. Yeah.
It's no, it's Mike.
Or Mike. I mean, I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
But the one thing I like about them is they're around the same age as I am. They're right next, but they definitely know filmmaking. Like they have like it. They strike me as if I knew them in high school, we'd probably be buds. Like
yeah, they seem like it'd be fun to hang with. They like to drink beer too. They even drink beer on their show, and I love their best of the worst shows because they watch like the worst movies, like Hard Ticket to Hawaii and shit like that, and you know, they show the highlights from the worst films. You know,
I was watching one of their things, one of their shows. It might have been the best of the worst. Carrie was at my place, and I was on my computer, and she heard Rich's laugh in the background.
Oh,
and
it cracks me up. He's got the most infectious laugh.
It's it used to annoy the fuck out of me. Like, it was,
oh, really?
I just couldn't
like
stand it.
It sounds fake.
Laugh.
It sounds so fake.
I think I thought it was a woman. And it's like, oh, wait a minute.
It's just a fat dude.
Yeah.
But
there's a really weird did you see that thing with Julia Roberts where she's on Ellen and she's talking about how when she used to be we talked about this where she said and she in her old job she used to be Chuck E. Cheese.
No, it was
or Pizza Time Theater or whatever.
Rocket
Fire Explosion?
What's the pizza place that had
Showbiz Pizza?
Yeah, I think it's Showbiz. The bear costume. So
and
she said,
a shirt that says "Dick the Birthday Boy."
Yeah, and they show
Billy
a picture on Ellen of when she worked there, and it's Rich from Red Letter Media because it's a picture of him in a little. Yeah. He goes, "I'm number one Dick" or something.
No, it's Dick the Birthday Boy.
Dick the Birthday Boy.
Because his name's Rich, and so he went by.
And on Red Letter Media, he's got the photo. He's like, "That's me." When I was like 3.
Wow.
Julia Roberts.
You got bugs in there.
Yeah.
That's so weird. But
you're muted.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can't hear me.
There's a fucking mosquito flying around here.
Oh, not cool.
Take your
I
giant hands and
have
go,
to say, I'm voting that we shut this down.
Yeah, it's 12:30. I gotta.
All right, let's cut it. All right, thanks
Kill
for
it,
everybody
Tiger.
joining us on this Halloween special and talking about movies and TV shows and the boys and all that good stuff. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Come here once a week on Tuesdays.
Join us on Saturday. Join us on
Saturday for movie night and game night if you want on Thursdays. If you can make that, hit us up if you're interested in joining us. by the way, people out there that don't know, you don't have to have the movie to watch movie night with us. Some people are confused about that. You just join us on Discord and we stream the movie, and you just join us in the chat and we talk and drink beers and watch a movie together, and it's a lot of fun. And we get about 10 to 15 people usually.
Yeah, about that.
There.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's a blast. Yeah. And Gino's usually there, and Gabby's there, and Necros, and Carrie and Jim, and
Yeah, it's a good crew.
Arcade Danger, I think, has you been there before? Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah,
So
been one.
yeah, it's a good time.
Blazing Saddles.
It's something fun to do if you got nothing to do on a Saturday, you know, with COVID and shit. It's not like you can go bowling. So come join us on movie night.
And if you do go bowling, fuck you.
Yeah, don't touch your face. Wash your
Yeah, don't
hands.
touch that bowling ball. It has COVID in those holes.
Yeah. I think that is COVID's natural breeding spot.
Yeah, it likes the holes
It wasn't COVID.
and the nose.
And the
Those are
bowling
holes
ball.
too.
It was something
Nice.
else. It was molested.
The mouth, that's a hole. All right, you guys.
All right,
So
see you
thanks for
guys.
joining us, and we'll see you next time. Play us out.